DD and the defensive coordinator, DC Darren Carrington Sr., the defensive assistant, Sam Addo, the O-line coach, James Kilmer, the air boss, your offensive coordinator, Taylor Gomser, and the captain of the ship, the head coach, David Beazer. We are privileged to have the big American flag here at Pechanga Arena, San Diego. Also, presenting our colors this evening, Sergeant Keenan Yarborough, Sergeant Parker Skogel, Sergeant Andrew Petrie, and Sergeant Jesus Aguilera. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to please rise. Gentlemen, remove your caps. As we honor the armed forces that serve our country both at home and around the world, with the singing of our national anthem this evening being presented by award-winning vocalist Rebecca Jade.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rang, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there.
Oh, man, is that a sight for sore eyes, huh? The coach, welcome to Monday Night Football here in San Diego, and welcome to the return of San Diego Strike Force football for the first time in 3 years alongside the coach, John Quintero. I'm Steve Quist. It is great to be back finally in this building. We've got, hopefully, COVID behind us and all that has ailed the Indoor Football League the last couple of years, and this is great to be back.
Well, it is, and there's a lot of excitement. For a Monday night, you never know, how people are going to come out, and I got to tell you, walking around the arena, there are a lot of people coming out to really take a look at the San Diego Strike Force team, a completely new unit than we saw in 2019.
All right, so some of the fans might be new to us. Maybe you were here with us in 2019 when we had the 1-13 campaign. Perhaps you don't know the rules of indoor football. Let's take a look at those, Coach, and notable IFL rules before we get ready for the coin toss and the kickoff here of the home opener here in 2022.
Well, I think, Steve, there's so many little nuances to indoor football. An indoor padded surface, 85 feet wide, 50 yards long, 8-yard end zones, and I'll tell you, that gets awful tight from time to time. 8 players on the field per team, and there's some other rules that we'll get into on offensive and defensive line play, but these are the basic rules right here, and I think with Arizona in town, we're in for quite a treat tonight. One of the all-time great teams in indoor football. They've won 6 world championships. They're off to a 1-0 start right now. This is a marvelous opening night for the Strike Force, I think.
So this is the second game of the season of the 2022 campaign for both these teams, and you can see the body of work for both of them. The Rattlers on the left of your screen. They were in the United Bowl a year ago. Of course, this is going to be a tough challenge now for the Strike Force as they try and get up and running again after a 2-year absence. Strike Force could have won that game at Bay Area a week ago.
Well, they certainly could. They got stuffed on the 1-yard line. They tried to call a timeout, and the referee didn't grant it. They could have pushed that in and won that ball game. And really, they led the entire second half until the final 21 seconds. But, you mentioned a tough game tonight. Drew Powell, the quarterback for Arizona, he's a 2-time IFL MVP, won the award a year ago. He's a guy that can throw it, but you got to be careful. This guy's got great power in his legs, and he loves to run the football, as do the Rattlers, I might add.
Well, we have a coin toss going on down on the 25-yard line. That's our new president, it appears, down there, Vivian Lin, who took over for Roy Choi and just done a great job resurrecting this after 2 years off.
Well, she's put in an incredible effort to keep this franchise alive, and I just hope that the city of San Diego will come out and support this team. I think there's a lot of buzz with Dave Beezer taking over as the head coach, and he's put together a great staff. Some well-known former Chargers on this staff that we'll get into, but Vivian Lin has put a lot of hard work into this. She's put together a very, very nice staff, and I know she's very much looking forward to tonight's ball game.
And, of course, she is the one and only and first Asian-American woman to run a professional franchise here in North America. And so hats off to her. This should be a great season. It starts at home tonight. It will end in July with the regular season and hopefully the postseason for the San Diego Strike Force. And just this would be their third campaign, technically. You might recall a couple of years ago that we played one game and then had the season called off. Let's stop down and listen right now to the coin flip. It looks like Gail Sadie there. Used to own the San Diego Riptide of the Arena League 2.
You have won the toss. It's your choice to begin the game.
We want to defer to the second half.
Jim
Arizona
Schaefer is our official.
We'll defer the second half. You'd like the ball? Yeah. Which goal would you like to defend and kick from, Arizona?
Let's do this one.
Put your backs here. Your back's over here. San Diego will receive on the south goal. Good luck, man.
All right, so the Rattlers win the toss, defer to the second half, and we'll get to see the Strike Force on offense to begin things at home. You can't ask for anything better than that, huh? Let's take a look at our offensive starters here for the Strike Force. Chris Solano in his first season was pretty good at the helm against Bay Area last week. Devontae Sapp Lynch will get a bunch of the carries, and I love the fact that Marquise Hoodie Rogers is back, Coach.
Yeah, he's a guy that can turn a game around in a hurry. I mean, Troy Evans, I think they need to get him a a little bit more involved tonight. Good offensive line. I thought the offensive line played very, very well last week against Bay Area.
Little bit of a tweak on that offensive line. Going down was G. White Stallworth with a knee injury. They expect he'll be out anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks, maybe a little bit longer. So they've had to turn to a kid who's 6'7", 350 pounds out of Texas A&M Commerce, and that's Emerald Fali Tui Papai.
Well, he was in camp. They let him go. They told him to stay close. He got activated a couple of days ago. Damian Britt going to start at center. And Zion Jones, who started last week on the left side, going to move over and play on the right side. And he had to finish up a little bit on the right side last week. But I think James Kilmer, the offensive line coach, feeling very good about his guys up front.
So it's our old friend Ernesto Lacayo, who was the kicker in 2019, the inaugural season for the Strike Force inside this building. He'll tee it up at the goal line. Ishmael Adams, who went to UCLA, was in camp with the Chargers, in camp with the Rams as well, all the way back in 2017, is back inside the end zone, awaiting this kickoff from Ernesto Lacayo. And we are underway, the home opener in 2022. Fielded by Adams at the 5, dances his way up toward the 20, and terrific starting field position for Chris Solano, the 6'2 quarterback.
I watched Ishmael Adams all those years he played at UCLA, and he had a great career at UCLA, Steve. And for the Strike Force to be able to sign him, that was a really good get. And I think as the season develops, he's going to be one of the more entertaining players in the IFL all season long.
Drive will start officially from the 19-yard line. We roll the clock. We shouldn't stop unless there's a timeout, player injuries. Coach and I will tell you all the rules as we get deeper into the game. You can only send 2 in motion. And the drive starts with Solano in the shotgun, and they're going to run it. And great running lanes right there for Devontae Sapp Lynch out of Oakland. He had a couple of scores last week, winds up picking up 14 yards, Coach, and a first down on their first run against the vaunted Rattlers.
Well, they list him at about 5'8", 185, and I'm going to tell you, he runs like he's a 220-pound running back. Last week, 13 carries, 70 yards against Bay Area.
Just like that, they're at the Rattlers' 17-yard line on a first down and 10. Solano looking right, throws right, and a catch is made, but dumped back near the 25-yard line. For a big loss there is Marquise Hoodie Rogers, who was the 2019 IFL Special Teams Player of the Year when he was here.
Devontae Merriweather, the defensive back for Arizona, really closed on that ball very quick, and at 6'1", 200 pounds, he can deliver a blow.
A significant loss back to the 19-yard line. Now brings up a second down and 12. Strike Force on their opening drive of the game. Just a minute and 20 seconds into this one from the 19 of Arizona, 2 in motion each side. Solano, here comes the blitz, and down he goes at the 20-yard line. And getting through on the defensive side for Arizona was Williams. Trayvon Williams, the linebacker, the only linebacker on their roster, Coach.
Yeah, Trayvon Williams came right up the gut, and nobody picked him up. Really, they got a little confused there, and he came right up the middle. And Solano had no chance whatsoever. Did a good job of just hanging on to the football.
Absorbs the sack. Third down and 18 now from back at the 22-yard line. Remember, punting is illegal here in the IFL. So you got to go for it or try the field goal. Solano. This time the pocket holds up. He rolls out. He's going to take off across the 25 to the 20. Cuts back at the 15 and down at the 11-yard line. It'll still be fourth down. However, you can have Tanner Cooljian come on out and attempt a chip shot field goal.
Solano last week I thought ran the football very well. He struggled at times passing the ball. And he needs to get his footwork down tonight, fundamentals. You'll see him. He likes to run. You got to do a little bit better job of protecting that ball. Got to get it in that outside arm as he's going into the boards rather than leave it on the inside where one of those defensive linemen could slap it out of his hand.
Solano passed for a touchdown, ran for a score last week. And they are, in fact, going to send out Tanner Cooljian, who kicked at San Diego State. And this is going to be from just inside 25 yards. It'll come from the 19-yard line, hash mark left. looking to open the scoring, much like they did last week against the Bay Area Panthers. And the kick is blocked and goes out of bounds. And so no points on the opening drive for the San Diego Strike Force.
That kick blocked, and I might add, for folks that come out to Pechanga Arena, that ball goes into the stands. The fans get to keep it.
And it's a logoed ball. Let's see who got it. Might have been, let's see, who got up 31. So that's Chris McAllister from his defensive end spot. And so a block kick to start things. And now we get a chance to look at the vaunted Rattlers offense. Scored 50 points at home in their opener over the Duke City Gladiators a week ago.
We got a conference going on with Jim Schaefer and the referees down there. I wonder if they're questioning possibly the way Arizona lined up on that field goal attempt by the Strike Force.
Either that, they may be looking at the spot, too, as the ball went out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. Remember, the kick was from the 19. The block was about around the 14 or 15, and the ball went out of bounds right above one of the signs down there. It might be the Panera sign down there, and into the front row. And so now they're going to put it at the 20-yard line. So because that ball goes out of bounds with the rules that we were reading before the game, it now comes to the 20-yard line. So instead of having it maybe at the 9 or 10, the starting field position will be Arizona's 20-yard line.
Well, I would think Arizona coming in, Steve, they're going to want to run the football. They had great success against Duke City last week, pounding the football, and I think that could be the game plan tonight.
Drew Powell will hand it off, and it goes to Calvin Phillips, and Phillips tries to string it out left inside Strike Force territory down at the 24. He was signed this week when Malik Williams went down with a season-ending leg injury last week, and Williams was fantastic last week. He had 3 scores in the game.
Calvin Phillips, big guy, 6'2", 225 pounds, played at Fort Scott Community College.
So a rule, any kickoff untouched, which goes out of bounds, will be placed at the 20-yard line. That was touched, though, by Merriweather, but they still managed to put it at the 20-yard line. First down at 10 at the Strike Force 24-yard line. Powell, the lefty, slings it right to the 20, and the catch is made. Grabbed on the far sideline by Isaiah Houston, and his progress immediately stopped.
Hey, one thing, when you throw those short passes at indoor football, you better catch it and know you're going to get hit, and hit quickly.
It was enough for a first down, the first of the game for the Rattlers, and it was David Haney who was defending on the play. So the ball's at the 19-yard line. Opening possession for the Rattlers, who are 1-0 under the direction of Kevin Guy, who's in his 13th season as the head coach and the owner. They're going to try it again, and why not? Houston again along the boards, makes the catch, picks up roughly 6 yards to inside the 15.
Well, I think more than anything else, Drew Powell, I mean, this guy, let's face it, he one of the better players in the league. He was the IFL MVP a year ago. He won it in 2018. Yep. He's a savvy indoor player, and if he sees a defensive back laying off, he's going to go to an audible and get it to one of his receivers as quickly as he can.
Well, here's how good he's been. He's been a league MVP with not only Arizona but Iowa as well. There's only been 2 guys in the history of the IFL that have won an MVP for 2 different teams. Powell, plenty of time. A flag comes up. He's firing back of the end zone, and it's incomplete. Looking for Houston again, but hold everything, penalty, and shortly Jim Schaefer, who wears the white hat, will explain what the penalty's all about. I thought last week against Bay Area, and you and I both watched it, the defense was pretty darn good in the first half.
Illegal defense, number 17, not down in a 3-point stance at the snap. 5-yard penalty.
They got the veteran Terrence Fulham not being in a 3-point stance. That's an illegal defense. Cost him 5 yards. It'll be a first down, first and goal from the 9.
Yeah, the down linemen have to be in a 3 or 4-point stance. And they can't be outside the outside shoulder of the offensive lineman.
Powell's got a great opportunity now. First and goal from the 9. Plenty of time. Fires for the end zone, and it's caught. Touchdown. That is Isaiah Houston. Just too easy off the block kick. They march all the way down from their own 20 into the end zone.
Well, just down the seam, Houston, who's already had a couple of catches on the far side, just went right down the seam and nobody picked him up. A little bit too soft a coverage by the strike force. Houston catching it, took a hit, but hung on to the football.
Ernesto Lacayo, 5 of 7 on extra points this season. And Lacayo in a building where he started. And he puts it through for the extra point. So Powell to Houston to begin the proceedings. And we are just under 9 minutes into this one. Well, actually, inside the 9-minute mark, rather. 8:36 to go officially here in the first quarter. 7-0 Rattlers.
You know, Ernesto Lacayo, who just kicked that extra point for Arizona, he really played well for the strike force back in 2019, Steve. He was second team All-IFL and went on and played in the AAF for a while. Did a nice job for the Seattle franchise, and he's a really good kicker.
Well, we told you this was not going to be easy. And these two teams do have a brief history together. Arizona was unbeaten in 2019, the first year the Strike Force were in the league. And that year they met 4 times, and the Rattlers won all 4 games, including a game where Arizona scored a franchise record 91 points.
A lot of points in one ball game, no question about it.
I think it'll be a little different. Here are some of the scores from 3 years ago when the two teams played. 52-14 Arizona, 91-58. Don't forget that San Diego scored 58, 84-63, and then 57-16.
You know, Steve, whenever I think about indoor football or prior to that arena football, I always think of the Arizona Rattlers. You know, they got that franchise started so many years ago with a former Arizona State quarterback who played for Dallas for many years, Danny White,
yep.
and they just kept it going. And Kevin Guy, the head coach of the Rattlers since 2008, has just done an incredible job with his franchise.
Rattlers founded in 1992. Short kick again, Adams for his second return. And Adams trying to fight his way up toward the 20, and his progress will be stopped at the 17-yard line. And that's where Solano and company will take over for the second time here in the opening quarter.
You know, I'd like to see the Strike Force run the football a little bit. They had that one play to start the game with Devontae Sapp Lynch. He ran the ball well. Then they got into passing, and they had the one other run by the quarterback Solano. But, you know, I'd like to see them pound the ball and see if they can have a little success against Arizona.
On the opening drive, Strike Force had their field goal attempt of roughly 24 yards blocked. Arizona got it at their own 20 and marched it in. 9-yard throw, Powell to Houston. So Solano back out there on a 1st down and 10, officially from his own 18-yard line. Looking left, and the ball is dropped by Rashad Ross. There is a penalty marker, however, so hold everything.
Well, Rashad Ross, that's a ball he'll tell you he should have caught. He tried to take a little look to the inside and didn't look it in all the way.
5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Penalty is going to be against Devontae Merriweather, who's a team leading 9 tackles in week 1, 8 of them solo. So that's going to wind up costing Arizona 5 yards, and we'll replay the down. It'll be 1st down and 5 from San Diego's 23-yard line. Home opener tonight. Second game of the season for both these teams. Just beginning the 2022 IFL season. You see Trayvon Van wearing number 26. 2 come in motion on either side. A little trickery here. Solano on a broken play has got to run for it, and he's awfully close to the 1st down. He gets across midfield, gets to about the 23. I think he needed another foot or so. Nope, they're going to give him the 1st down.
Well, I'll tell you what, he did a heck of a job. Watch this 2-car collision in the backfield right here. And Solano, fortunately enough, was able to hang on to the ball and get out of there and get it up the field for a 1st down. They're going to have to be talking about that play because one guy was going right, the other guy was going left.
Exactly the way offensive coordinator Tyler Januser drew it up, right? It's a first down and 10 from the 22 of Arizona. Solano hands to Van. Van went left, goes back right, escapes Merriweather, and then gets popped along the boards at the 14-yard line, awfully close to another San Diego first down.
Boy, you talk about a physical run, and I was down on the field prior to the ball game. Trayvon Van just signed this week, one of the great Van brothers out of Helix High School. I got to tell you, watch this powerful run right here, and he really finishes off in a big way. Look at that. Boy, I'll tell you, he's a real load to bring down, Steve. I wouldn't want to have to come up and make a tackle on him one-on-one.
Yeah, either second and short here from the 14-yard line of Arizona. San Diego on the drive trying to tie this thing up here as the clock moves. Just over 6 minutes to go in the opening quarter. That's Devontae Sapp-Lynch to the right of Solano, 2 in motion, and on the dive gives it to Sapp-Lynch, who then gives it off to Solano, who's got the first down and gets popped around the 8-yard line. Well, they're doing a great job improvising, if nothing else, tonight.
Yeah, I don't think that's in the Strike Force playbook, but you know what? It may be after tonight.
Just a little pinch here.
Take another look here.
Sapp-Lynch is in trouble.
In big-time trouble. And Solano, nice adjustment, reaching back, securing the football. And that time he got the ball to his outside arm to protect it. Much better job that time by Solano, the quarterback.
First and goal from the 6-yard line. Sapp-Lynch was in the grasp of McAllister and improvised for a first down. Solano hands it off. Sapp-Lynch avoids a tackler. There is a penalty marker. Someone also lost a shoe on the Arizona secondary, and Sapp-Lynch got to the original line of scrimmage, the 6, but let's hold it for the penalty. Jim Schaefer.
Holding number 52 on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
They get the new guy, Coach. Falatui Papai.
Well, you watch right now, the offensive line, quite frankly, early in the game, getting chewed up a little bit. And that flag came down very quickly for the hold, no question about it. But right now, it seems when they're trying to run to the boundary, this Arizona team very, very quick. They may have a little more success going straight ahead.
First and goal from the Rattlers, 16-yard line after the 5-yard penalty. Solano fakes the pitch, throws over the middle, incomplete. Pass deflected by Devontae Merriweather. They got some guys in the secondary that can really get to the ball. A lot of ball hawks back there for the Rattlers.
Well, they know their system very well. And talking with Coach Beazer before the ball game, he knows that his team, he got a talented team. Todd Durkin, the general manager, brought some really talented guys in here.
Yep.
But it's going to take a while for this team to gel. And they're playing, let's face it, Steve, this is probably the best team in the IFL right now coming into this year. Talent, guys that are coming back, know the system of Kevin Guy.
Oh, Coach, if this was 2019, we'd already be down 21-0.
Good point.
Second and goal from back at the 16-yard line. Solano out of the shotgun. Here comes the blitz in the middle. They throw to the end zone, incomplete. Remember that blitz got there last time for a big sack on the opening drive.
Well, there seemed to be a little confusion. Solano didn't throw that ball with a lot of authority. He kind of threw it kind of hoping his receiver would get to that area, and his receiver was nowhere near it, and that was Troy Evans, who, by the way, I really think tonight, you know, he had one big catch late in the ball game against Bay Area last week. They got to find a way to get the ball to Troy Evans, even if it's on a reverse.
He played for Spokane last year. He's in his 6th year in the league and holds several IFL records. Defending was Dylan Winfrey. Third and goal from the 16. Solano gets rid of it in a hurry and connects to Rashad Ross. He won't drop it this time. Gets to the 7. They've still got some work to do right now, Coach, and it's going to be 4th down.
But you'll watch Rashad Ross. He found the soft spot, and Solano throwing that ball with some authority right there as he got tagged in a great route by Rashad Ross. Rather than continuing to run into an Arizona defender, he found that little soft pocket, and Solano was able to deliver to him wide open.
All right, this time they're not going to kick it because they had the last one blocked. They're going to go for it on 4th and goal from the 7-yard line. This won't be easy. Solano sends 2 in motion right side. Blitz comes to the middle. He throws under pressure. Incomplete at the goal line, looking for Rogers. It harmlessly falls incomplete, and they turn it over on downs.
Well, he had to throw off his back foot. He couldn't step up. He had two guys bearing down on him, and that's unfortunate. That was a pretty good drive, even though there were a couple of makeshift plays that got him big yardage. That's too bad they couldn't get anything out of that drive. Not a bad effort by the Strike Force. Now they're going to have to play much tougher defense, and I think those corners are going to have to be in press coverage a little bit more. They allowed it Arizona to go down the field far too easy that first time.
Timeout on the field. Looks like it's a media break. And we'll be back right after this.
Hey guys, Kat here from Catalyst Wellness. Our mission is to help patients feel their best from the inside out.
After a hard workout, your body really needs more than water. Just ask our Strike Force athletes.
We focus on giving what your body needs to heal with every treatment that we offer.
We also offer aesthetics treatments to help patients look their best.
Come by for IV therapy and absorb what your body really needs.
With our unique medical therapies, we'll get you back to work, back to family, and back to life. Come see us soon.
Food became personal to me when a sports injury ended my career in baseball. Improper nutrition was the catalyst to my downfall. Through that realization, my wife and I went on a mission to create a meal prep company with a purpose. We knew that meal prep wasn't just about making healthy meals and selling them online. It was about making an impact for the people in our community, the performance athlete, the busy mother and father, and the developing team, to optimize their lives through nutrition. We also knew the true results went beyond just a couple healthy meals a day. So we decided to implement a free nutritional consultation where we discuss the best program suited.
I had the opportunity to speak with Strike Force president and owner Vivi Lynn before tonight's game, and she said she felt honored to be able to bring football back to San Diego and felt this responsibility to make sure that the Strike Force didn't dissolve, and said the San Diego community deserves to have a home football team to support. In terms of tonight's game, the Strike Force are without two of their starters, wide receiver Amici Walker and offensive lineman G. White Stallworth. The Strike Force have brought in reinforcements, Rashad Ross at wide receiver. Ross does have CFL and NFL experience, so hopefully he'll be able to contribute to the Strike Force offense tonight. And offensive lineman Emerald Falatupapai will be getting the start tonight. Steve, Coach, back to you.
Thank you. That's Melissa May, the newest member of our Strike Force broadcast team. We thank her for joining us. Saying some nice things about Vivi, of course, and we're grateful for that. Got through our first media break. That's awesome.
Well, it's really nice to have Melissa May down there right in the heat of battle, getting us some good information. We appreciate her and very much a welcome to the team.
Very good report. No. Hey, anybody that can say 52's name and rattle it off like that, Emerald Falatui Papi, is all right in my books.
I think you're doing a fine job.
All right, 2:36 to go. Opening quarter of play. This is the second possession of the game for the Rattlers. They lead at 7-0. And Powell to throw and just flings it and right inside the numbers. A catch is made for about a 9-yard pickup there. And it's the first grab of the ball game.
Steve, I want to mention for fans that maybe aren't familiar with the IFL rules, the defensive line, they're not allowed to twist or stunt. And the defensive linemen, the outside defensive linemen have to be in they all have to be in a 3 or 4 point stance, but the outside defensive linemen, they can't be outside the outside shoulder of the offensive lineman.
Here's a pitch, and it's Calvin Phillips in his first game for the Rattlers. That catch prior was by Jamal Miles, who had 4 catches last week to lead the Rattlers in their win over the Duke City Gladiators.
It's a pretty good job by the defensive line of the Strike Force right here. Very nice to see them filtering back inside. Got 2 guys, 3 guys getting hats on them. That's what you want. You want 3, 4, 5 guys taking the ball carrier down. That's good defense right there.
3rd and short, Javian Williams making the stop. Here's the handoff to Miles. He gets ahead of steam and gets taken down at the 24-yard line, but has more than enough to move those chains. A first down for the Rattlers here on their second drive of this opening quarter.
Yeah, Miles, pretty good-looking ball player. See, 5'8", 180. He plays both wide receiver and running back. He actually has experience in the CFL, and he played his college football there for the Sun Devils at Arizona State.
Yeah, all the way back in 2010. In his 4th season with the Rattlers, a lot of guys just stay in the Valley right there and play for the Rattlers as long as they possibly can. Final minute here of this opening quarter. Powell with plenty of time. They haven't had much pressure on him. He connects there right at the 10-yard line to Braxton Haley. Haley has enough for a first down, and he's down to the 10. Adams brings him down, and there's some extracurricular activity. Haney getting into it a little bit with Jamal Miles.
One thing watching the Rattlers, and I didn't see their game against Duke City, but I can tell you from watching them in the past and watching them already in this game, their receivers run really, really crisp, consistent routes. If it's supposed to go 10 yards, they go 10. They don't go 10 and a half. They don't go 9 and a half. I mean, very, very much precision route running by the Rattlers.
This is going to be the final play of the opening quarter if they can get it off in time. There's 3 seconds to go. Powell just shovels it to Miles, gets around a tackler, reaches out to the goal line, but they're going to count him down at about the 3-yard line. So when we come back, it'll be 1st and goal from the 3 for the Arizona Rattlers, knocking on the door to take a 2-touchdown lead over the San Diego Strike Force. The 2022 home opener here at Pechanga Arena will return right after this. All right, welcome back to Pechanga Arena to start the second quarter, and here's Miles, and he just dances in easily for a touchdown. And that's going to make it 13-0 with a PAT pending.
Well, misdirection. It looked like they were going to bring it to the boundary side, and they took it right back to the far side, and he was able to get in there rather easily right there. Take a look. Good job by the offensive line of Arizona. And we see the touchdown right there. And Arizona getting a 2-score lead. Rather easy touchdown for Jamal Miles.
And so here's Ernesto Lacayo coming on to try and make it a 14-0 ball game. And Lacayo's extra point, man, he's got a leg. We saw that back in 2019. Bangs it through, and it makes it 14-0. So the Rattlers now have a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown. And they lead it by a score of 14-0. I'm not quite sure they're going to get to that 91 that they scored 3 seasons ago. But, man, they are off to a really good start. You can see it's a veteran bunch over there. Look how big those linemen are.
Yeah, I was down on the field like you were before the game, and I was looking at Arizona, kind of checking them out a little bit. They got some beef up front. There's no question about it. This team is very, very well coached. I mean, Kevin Guy, who's now gone from general manager to president, still the head coach. I mean, you talk about a guy who's had an incredible record. He took over in 2008. They've won 4 world titles. His record, 174-51. How about that?
That's amazing. Remember, they spent 24 seasons in the Arena Football League, so that's how big of a jump they have on everyone else in the IFL before they moved over to the IFL. And in that time, the Rattlers, we're talking about the AFL, they made 10 appearances in the Arena Bowl, won championships in 94, 97. That's a couple of years when I was working down in Tucson. 12, 13, and 14 were their winners. All right, 14-19 remaining here. I was under the impression the clock would move, too, in situations like this after touchdowns. And it hasn't been here. Of course, first time back in 3 years, so we're also trying to figure everything else out.
Hey, it's just good to be here, not wearing a mask, I might add.
Yes, but the way the final minute goes, we could be here 4 hours if they don't move that clock. Here's Adams. Adams with a spin move, and Adams gets to the 10-yard line. He's had 3 pretty good returns so far, the youngster out of UCLA. This will be the longest starting field position here for the Strike Force.
Very, very important right here for the Strike Force to get something on the board, get a little confidence going. That offensive line going to have to play a little bit better than they have so far in this ball game.
14. 2 more.
The officials
14.
now. The officials, they had it up on the scoreboard inside at 10-0, and then the official wanted it to be 14-0. They've got it at 15, and now they bring it down to 14. So there we go. It's right on your screen. Solano to begin things on this drive at his own 10-yard line. 3rd drive of the first half here for the Strike Force. Now chasing 14 points. Solano gets rid of it right quickly, right into the hands of Rogers. That'll be a pickup of 5 yards, and a second down is coming.
How about the name Hoodie Rogers? I wonder how he got that.
Well, because you remember back in 2019, he always played with the hood on, the Strike Force hoodie underneath him.
Nothing wrong with that. I wear a hoodie
until somebody grabs you and pulls you down from behind.
Well, they may call that an unsportsmanlike conduct.
He probably also lost about 10 pounds a game. He was here as the IFL Special Teams Player of the Year in 19. He played in Frisco last season. Second down at 5. Solano doesn't even move the feet, throws for a first down right between the hash marks and connects with Adams for his first grab of the game.
Well, this is good. Just chip away a little bit. Keep this defense on the field and give the Strike Force defense a little bit of a breather. I mean, they've been on the field quite a bit so far. Yeah, you're not going for broke here. Just run a nice little short pattern. Nice job. Nobody picks them up coming off the line of scrimmage. Hey, you take what you can get. Don't get greedy here. Just work the ball up the field.
They really didn't think we'd see much Adams. And here's a handoff. Devontae Sapp-Lynch with a head of steam, and he gets met and just drilled by Kyrie Woods, who had 6 tackles in the opener.
Yeah, Kyrie Woods, by the way, Steve, was the IFL Defensive Player of the Week last week for his performance against Duke City Gladiators.
Well, let's also remind you, too, perhaps San Diego's running out of time here to chip away, because last week against Duke City, the defense of the Rattlers pitched a second-half shutout, which is almost unheard of in arena football. Did not allow a single point to Duke City, which is out of Albuquerque. Right at midfield on a 2nd down and 6. And here's Sapp-Lynch, and Sapp-Lynch on an end around, and it's Devontae Merriweather who drops him for a loss back at the San Diego 20.
Yeah, that play way too slow developing. I think they're going to have a really hard time running the perimeter. This defense, these linebackers, and even the defensive line, they're pretty quick. I mean, they get to the ball, and you try to get to the outside, it's going to be very difficult unless you're able to get a seal block. I think the Strike Force could have much more success running straight ahead. Man on man, just go for it.
Look at that form tackle, too, by Merriweather. Again, he had 9 tackles in their opener against Duke City. All right, it brings up a 3rd down and 10 now from back of the 21-yard line of San Diego. Solano with 2 in motion right. He's got 3 receivers to the left. 1 comes over the middle. He fires high, incomplete, looking for Rashad Ross. Coverage, Kyrie Woods. Also over there was Brandon Ezel, and it brings up a 4th and 10. And again, there's no punting. You got to either try and kick the field goal here or go for it.
That was a great play by Kyrie Woods, the defensive back. He got over there and was able to get his outside arm up to, I think, get a finger on that ball and knock it into the stands. So a good job by the veteran cornerback of the Arizona Rattlers. I've been very impressed with the speed of this defense of Arizona.
Colgian comes in to kick. Dropping back deep is Jamal Miles. And this is where it becomes worrisome here, right? Again, you can't punt. You got to try and go for the field goal, and Miles has a chance to return it. Kick is on its way, and it's going to go way out of bounds into about the mezzanine level. And so now they've had a block kick and a miss to the right.
Well, there are a few souvenirs out there tonight. I want to remind everyone, when you come out to any IFL game, especially here at the Pechanga Arena, ball goes into the stands.
By rule, be 1st and 10 at the 20, Arizona.
Let Jim Schaefer finish there. But any ball that goes in, whether it's kicked, thrown, tossed, whatever, you get it, you get to keep it. You take it home as a nice souvenir.
Yep, that was that rule we talked about. The receiving team, any kickoff untouched which goes out of bounds will be placed at the 20-yard line. So that's why Arizona gets great starting field position. Normally a touchback is the 5-yard line. You'll see a lot of drives start at the 5, but this one's going to start at the 20. It is the 3rd drive of the game for the Rattlers, and they are a perfect 2 for 2 in scoring chances. You don't want to see them in the red zone. The Rattlers are 5 for 5 on the season in the red zone. Powell, plenty of time, steps up in the pocket, fires, shot on goal, caught, touchdown right at the goal line, and that is Jamal Miles. My good friend Randy Gatewood, who was a great wide receiver for the Rattlers, always talked about Danny White saying, let's take a shot on goal from the 20 every time. That's what they did here.
Well, let's take a look at this play right here. Safety's not able to get over in time. Defensive back got beat. Looked like they were in zone coverage, and Miles wide open for an easy touchdown.
2nd touchdown throw of the game for Powell, this time connecting with Miles, who was the team leader in receptions last week, 4 catches for 19 yards. That one right there covers 30 yards and a touchdown. Lacayo puts it through 21-0, and this is a big hole, Coach.
Well, it certainly is, and it looked like on that coverage of Miles, Ishmael Adams got
timeout.
confused whether it was maybe zone or man, and London Iacopo unable to get over there from his safety position. So a complete breakdown in the secondary by the strike force on that play.
So with 8:43 to go before halftime, 21-0 in favor of the Arizona Rattlers. We take a break. Back to Pechanga Arena in San Diego right after this.
Food became personal to me when a sports injury ended my career in baseball. Improper nutrition was the catalyst to my downfall. Through that realization, my wife and I went on a mission to create to see better.
Little Monday Night Football here in San Diego for the first time in a while. Steve Quist, the coach John Quintero, Melissa May back with you here. Pechanga Arena, the home opener in 2022 for the Strike Force. And so far, the Arizona Rattlers have scored on all 3 of their possessions. Strike Force have had a field goal blocked and another field goal attempt go out of bounds, giving the Rattlers good field position. A 21-0 hole as Lacayo kicks it. And Marquise Hoodie Rogers, it would appear, is now back instead of Adams. Or is it, may actually be Rashad Ross. And it's Rashad Ross, rather. Thought I saw Hoodie back there, but it was his great flowing hair back there for Ross. Again, these are very difficult. When you're up here, it's awfully hard to pick up those numbers. I was afraid I'd have some issues here tonight.
Yeah, no, they are beautiful uniforms, beautiful helmets, beautiful colors, and, hey, work in progress for the Strike Force right now. They knew this was not going to be easy. I mean, when you're playing the creme de la creme of the IFL and your second year or second game of the season, a lot of new faces, I'll tell you, this team will compete. They'll compete to the final gun. Let's see if they can get something going here before the end of the first half offensively.
If you want to join us next, we're back here on May the 7th. Next 4 are on the road after the home opener tonight. Drive starts at the 5-yard line, and a catch is made, a juggling catch by Marquise Hoodie Rogers, and he's got enough for a San Diego first down.
Just a quick slant play to Hoodie Rogers right there. The referee kind of got involved in there a little bit as well, but a good job by Hoodie Rogers. You'll see running right at the umpire right there. And you saw Kyrie Woods bringing Hoodie down there. But, hey, positive yardage. And I really like, even that ball was a little bit behind Hoodie. He made a nice adjustment. But I'm watching Solano. He's starting to throw the ball a little bit more confidence than I saw a week ago.
On first down and 10, gets rid of it quickly here, and a catch is made and able to elude a tackler is Rogers again. He's got a first down. He's into the stands and then gives somebody a souvenir. Hold on. Hey, Marquise, you got to get back. Pretty soon we're going to have to charge you. Those are affordable seats. We might have to charge you to stay there.
You come to an arena football game, if you're sitting down in the high rent district, you better be heads up because you may have a player in your lap from time to time. But a great job there by Hoodie Rogers and a nice ball once again delivered by Solano.
Right to the 10-yard line. You forget how good Rogers was in his first year. 70 catches, 9 touchdowns, 6 rushing TDs, and he had 2,229 all-purpose yards. Devontae Sapp Lynch down to the 8-yard line there on the draw. That brings up 2nd and goal.
It looked like there may have been a little hesitation on that handoff. It wasn't a flat-out clean handoff. Sapp Lynch had to kind of wait for it a little bit, and Solano luckily kept a hold of the ball and didn't just drop it in his breadbasket there. I mean, it's imperative right now, Steve, with 6:38 and the clock ticking down. They need to get a score here, get back in this ball game.
Likely we'll have another possession. Remember, we have a 1-minute warning, and then after that, the clock stops on every drop ball and on first down makes to reset the chains. It's only from 15 down to 1. And here's Solano play action fake and under pressure, and that ball got tipped. It's loose. And let's see. I haven't heard a whistle blow yet. Solano was down.
That ball was going forward. He threw the football.
Yeah, that should be an incomplete pass, which means they'll still have it at the 8-yard line.
Well, what happened here? I think there was a whole mix-up on this offensive play. And that's not the first time we've seen that
on the field
this year.
Is a fumble recovered by the defense.
Wow.
First 10, Arizona.
Wow, so they say that was a fumble.
They're gonna have to replay. Let's take a look here. I thought his arm was going forward myself. Let's take a look right here. He wanted to go to the left, but there was no receivers over on the left, and so you'll see it right there.
Oh, yeah.
That's an incomplete pass. I'm sorry, that's an incomplete pass. They need to review that.
Well, the challenge flag has been thrown by David Beezer, the head coach in his first year.
Well, I was going to throw it from up here.
You think you could make it down?
Well, I still got a pretty good arm. I throw hard. It just doesn't get there as quick.
Is challenging the ruling on the field that it was an incomplete pass versus a fumble.
All right, so
this is under further review.
This is a big review here because you're either going to have it on 3rd and goal at the 8, or Arizona's going to have it 1st and goal at their own 18.
This will be a very, very quick review, okay?
Watch it again, Coach.
Well, watch Christian. He wants to go to the left, you'll see, but there was nobody on that side of the field. Now he's got to improvise. He comes back, just trying to get rid of the football right there, and that's coming out of his hand. That ball's going forward. That should be an incomplete pass. They shouldn't have to look at 38 different replays.
Trayvon Hill, Chris McAllister with the double team of pressure right there on Solano, who's a former Nevada Wolfpack quarterback. He had one career start, did Solano, for the Wolfpack. It was against Fresno State. He didn't do a bad job. He completed almost 50% of his passes and ran for, I think, another 70 yards or so.
You know what was unfortunate about his career? You know, he had this incredible career at San Fernando High School, set all the records and held all the records when he left, went to Nevada, and was going to win the job, going to be the starter. He got hurt, and he ended up being a career backup.
Yeah, and while he was at San Fernando, he was a 7-time letterman in football, basketball, and baseball. Now, the officials are looking up. I have a feeling the replay's not working down on the ground, and that's why you saw the offensive coordinator for the Strike Force, Taylor Geneser, kind of go, oh, what happened? And now the officials are looking up now, so they're actually taking this replay from the same spot. So I don't think the iPad's working. I think they're looking up at the same exact video boards we're looking at to see whether or not, and now they're actually just looking at themselves, whether or not this was an incomplete forward pass. Here we go. Now they're playing the replay up there now. They're going to look and see the same thing we saw. Yeah, the arm's going forward before he finally got popped by Trayvon Hill.
It wasn't an empty hand either, okay? He threw the ball forward.
Jim Schaefer and the young man next to him said, be kind to us today. We will. Here's Jim Schaefer.
After review, the ruling on the field is reversed as the ball was coming forward in control in the hand, and then he was hit and the ball came loose. The ball will be placed at the 9-yard line.
All right, so an incomplete pass. It's a little bit longer than we thought, but that's because of the iPad situation.
Yeah, I got to work on that iPad situation because we should have had about a 13-second review.
Yeah.
You only need to look at it one time.
That's right. It is opening night here. We've been away for 3 years. You might recall, so the first year, 2019, Strike Force go 1-13. Fun season. They rebrand. 2020, they actually play one game on the road at Bismarck, and then COVID shuts down the season, and then last year could not play because of the restrictions in the state of California and in this building.
You wonder how good they would have been coming off of 1-13. They are off to a 1-0 start on the road. You always kind of wonder, Bert Grossman was the head coach at that point in time, what kind of year they'd have had.
So 3rd and goal is what it's going to be from the 9-yard line officially. Solano with that pressure coming from the middle, throws off his back foot, incomplete. He was targeting Devontae Sapp-Lynch out of the backfield, and so now it's 4th and goal from the 8. You got to convert right here.
Tell you what, there are going to be a lot of families taking footballs home tonight.
I hope we have enough to continue the game.
Yeah,
if not, we're going to have to go to the souvenir stand and pump some balls up.
Well, Todd Durkin, the general manager, he better have a good budget for footballs for the IFL.
I do know he's got his son Luke, who's at Davidson. He's watching, so Luke and the Davidson Wildcats, I believe. Thanks for watching. Thanks for making us part of your, with a 3-hour time change in North Carolina, I guess it's still Monday night. Thanks for making us part of your Monday night, boys.
And Luke, boy, what a career he had at Scripps Ranch High School. What a marvelous career, and wish him the best. Good young guy.
On 4th down, throw to the end zone, and it's caught. Touchdown. And it's Marquise Rogers.
That's big right there. That's big. That gets the fans back into the ball game. It gets the Strike Force back in the ball game. Still plenty of time with the clock running right now at 4:40. But Solano, again, really throwing the ball with a lot of confidence. Let's watch this route by Marquise. Looked in, went back outside, beat the defensive back on that side. Never really in the play whatsoever. It looked like Brandon Ezel, the defensive back for Arizona, got a little confused. And a nice job by a veteran wide receiver, Hoodie Rogers.
Colgian for the extra point. What a great shot that is by our crew. And it's right through. Strike Force get one back here with 4:10 to go before halftime. It's now a two-score game at 21-7 against the Arizona Rattlers. And I think the way the Strike Force played last week at Bay Area, even though they dropped it 38-33, they led at half. It was a 4-point game. Led for all but 5 minutes in that game. So that was a big opportunity to take one in their first ever game. And then you might recall stopped at the goal line on the very last play of the game. And that was a play that was reviewed a number of times as well. Didn't go the Strike Force way. And so they come into this home opener at 0-1.
Yeah, very nice by Hoodie Rogers. He's fired up right now. The fans are getting fired up. Good crowd on hand for the opener tonight on a Monday night, Steve.
Yeah, the lower bowl almost filled up. We expect close to 5,000 in the building here at Pechanga Arena. The return for the first time since 2019 when that man, Marquise Hoodie Rogers, was on his way to a 2,229-yard all-purpose season. That's his first touchdown catch in this building in 3 years. He had 9 in what was his rookie year for the Strike Force back in 2019.
I remember a couple of them where he caught it going over the boards, too, and I was worried that he was going to get hurt, but he always bounced up.
Back then they were in the white and the silvers. I think we had some blue tops as well. We've rebranded. This one a line drive, and it's Houston who fields it. Takes it out of the end zone, got a good head of steam, and is brought down shy of the 24-yard line on the Rattlers side. 4 minutes and 4 seconds to go here in his first half.
Nice tackle there by special teams Dynamo, but really a good linebacker, Ricky Wyatt. I mean, really the leader of the Strike Force defense. Now, this is really big. I mean, you got 4 minutes and 4 seconds to go. This is really big. I mean, the Strike Force need to really tighten up. They need to get that football back and see if they can get even a field goal would be big at this point, but you got to keep Arizona out of the end zone this time.
Ricky Wyatt, the linebacker, was an Arizona Rattler last year and played for Arizona in the United Bowl. Powell, quick throw, going to go for another shot on goal. Trying to get some separation there was Braxton Haley, but he could not get away from David Haney, who played his rookie season with the Iowa Barnstormers. And Haney's a tough guy to throw against. In his 4 years of college, he had 9 picks in 27 collegiate games.
Well, the other thing, he can flat out run. As you mentioned, he played for the Barnstormers, but came out of Mid-America Nazarene. Now, that's one college I have not heard of before.
And you know everything. The coach knows everything. 2nd down and 10 from back at the 22. Powell, he's going to take off and run into Strike Force territory. And guess who clobbers him? Ricky Wyatt, his old teammate.
Now, this is what Powell does. I mean, you can talk about what he does throwing the football, and he likes to throw from the pocket. But you get him out of the pocket, he's dangerous. You'll see he goes back, he surveys the landscape, and then realizes there's a big hole up the middle. He's going to go get what he can get, and he went down. A good thing he went down. He got a little bit of a glancing blow, but Wyatt was really looking to take him out right there. So Powell knows him very, very well. They practiced against one another all last year.
Brought up a first down, and ahead of steam Calvin Phillips, and Phillips just dances right into the end zone. They are 4 for 4. He came in motion, grabbed that ball, and did the rest. And the Rattlers have another touchdown to lead it 27-7.
Boy, this guy's dynamite. I mean, he just got activated tonight. This guy's going to be around for a while. He went right up the gut. That's just bad defense, to be honest with you. I mean, there's no doubt that Calvin Phillips at 6'2", 225 pounds can flat out run. He's a hoss, a tough guy to bring down, but that's just bad defense when you're running straight down the middle of the field.
Ernesto Lacayo has been a very busy man with extra points and kickoffs, looking for his 4th extra point as the Rattlers have scored on all 4 drives here in the first half. And that time he hits the upright, and you can return that, and Adams tried to do his best Spider-Man there and run up the wall and get it, but it falls harmlessly now incomplete, and the Strike Force will take over.
That upright is still moving pretty good. Lacayo hammered it, but went right off the right upright.
So it is a 27-7 ball game, 1:43 to go in the second quarter. And this is when this thing starts to slow down just a little bit. We'll have a 1-minute warning in the IFL. And then after that, incomplete passes stop the clock, and it really does take a while to get from that final minute down to 0. And we were doing games a few years ago, you could have each team score on 2 possessions in the final minute with, your full complement of timeouts as well.
I'm real excited about what Vivian Lynn and Todd Durkin are putting together here. I've been a big proponent of indoor football for many years. Rick Schloss, who you know very well, big PR guy here in this town, worked for the Chargers, worked for the Denver Broncos. Many years ago, I don't know, it's got to be close to, 27, 28 years ago, he knew Babe Parilli, the old quarterback from the Boston Patriots. Babe Parilli was coaching the team in Las Vegas. Danny White was coaching the team in Arizona. They played an exhibition game here at 5:30 on a Friday that I came, many, many years ago. And I always enjoyed indoor football, and I'm just glad that San Diego's got a team back, and hopefully the fans will come out and support this franchise, because they're working awful hard.
There's an onside kick. It's in the air, and it's grabbed by Arizona. Going up to get it was Devontae Merriweather. Oh, my goodness. With 1:38 to go, the Rattlers pull off the onside kick. And there are a lot of teams in the indoor game that have a philosophy of just onside kicking every single time.
Yeah, well, the second bounce is always a tough one, and you see Merriweather just attack this football. Watch him just go up and attack that football. He looked like one of those Villanova forwards I watched over the weekend right there.
The receiving team at the 9-yard line,
Yep,
and then recovered by Arizona at the 9-yard line.
Touched by Lawal.
By rule, 1st and 10, Arizona.
And after he touched it, that made it a live ball, and Arizona takes over at their own 9-yard line.
Well, it looks like Kevin Guy, the head coach of Arizona, going for the kill here late in the first half.
Yep. Well, he's been around this game long enough. He knows you got to sneak a few of those in. He knows what it's like in the final minutes, how another team can get back into it. So now the 5th drive of this opening half for the Rattlers. Powell gets rid of it outside the numbers, and the catch is made. This is Haley, Braxton Haley, and he fumbled the football. It's covered up by the strike force, and they've got it. They needed a takeaway, and they get one right there. Landon Iacopo. Bow for us, young man.
Well, the thing that happened on this play, Haley's going down the far sideline. It looks like he's going. But Iacopo, who's a really good football player, never gave up on this play. Look at him, dogging it, and he pulls and knocks that ball away, able to recover the fumble. That's just one heck of an effort by the kid out of the University of Louisville.
Yeah, played for the Louisville Extreme last season in just 4 games before the Extreme were, well, for lack of a better word, tossed out of the IFL, so he needed a job. Played at Louisville for 3 seasons from 16 through 18, and he's a kid from Mater Dei High School up in the Santa Ana area, not the one down here in San Diego.
Yeah, he played for Bruce Rollinson up there at Mater Dei Santa Ana.
Yes, he did. We're under a minute to go. This should be the 1-minute
It's
warning.
a 1-minute warning.
And that is
1 minute warning.
1-minute warning coming up with 58 seconds to go on the clock. Now things become interesting because it takes a little while to get the final 58 seconds off the clock here, as you're about to witness here shortly.
Boy, that was a huge turnover. I mean, if they go in and score, I mean, you might want to stick a fork in the strike force before halftime. But now you go down, you put a field goal up, just get some positive things going right now, and you never know. I mean, the defense is obviously for San Diego going to have to tighten up in the second half. They've given Powell way too much leeway throwing the football in the first half. The corners, defensive backs are going to have to tighten up. They're going to need to get a little more pressure on Powell in the second half. But you never know. I mean, you keep playing hard. And that play by Iacopo, I'm going to tell you what, if I'm the strike force head coach or defensive coordinator, I'm applauding him. That's something I'm going to bring. I mean, between Ricky Wyatt and Iacopo, I mean, those guys are playing their tail off out there. And, you know, defensive backs have had kind of a tough first half. Defensive line they've had a hard time getting to Powell, who's a real tough guy to get to because he can maneuver around. But there have been some positives. A couple of guys have played very well in this first half defensively, but as a group, they got to tighten things up big time in the second half. They want to try to come back and thrill the crowd here on opening night.
Well, they finally get a stop. Something back in 2019 they would hardly ever get, especially against Arizona, when Arizona in 4 previous games have scored 91, 84, 57, and 52 against the strike force in their 4 previous meetings. And it was tracking that way until that takeaway. And certainly Strike Force could have 2 more possessions here in the final 58 seconds.
You know what's amazing? That 91 game, you made it mentioned earlier, Strike Force scored 58 in that game.
Yeah, they did. I'm trying to remember if we did that one or the 84-point one. It's crazy. Solano to throw on first down off his back foot. Got a man open, and it goes right through the wickets of Rogers. Oh, he had that shot on goal for San Diego. They want that back. Check that. That was not Rogers. That, in fact, that time was Rashad Ross. Do a couple of big drops for Ross in the game.
Ross just straight, just a flat-out go route. Got both the safety and the corner beat and just couldn't hang on to the football right there. He definitely had Calvin Phillips, who is doubling as a defensive back, had him beat big time right there, and the safety couldn't get over there.
All right, I got to remember Ross's green shoes. That will distinguish him from Marquise Woody Rogers.
Getting him, Ross is going to be a great player for the Strike Force. He's a really talented guy.
Real deep safety for Arizona. Solano escapes the pressure, now takes off to run and tries to hurdle his way into the Arizona bench.
Hey, why not? Don't take a hit over there on the sidelines and get wedged in between a player and the boards over there. Those boards aren't all that forgiving, I might add.
No, they still got some work to do. Got to get about another 7 yards here on third down. And the clock is still moving right here. No, check that. It's stopped inside when he hits the boards at 45. It's moving on our screen, but it's back up to 45 now. Again, that would not have stopped the clock in the first quarter or before the final minute. So 45 seconds to go, third down. Got to have points here to stay in this ball game. Solano, pressure comes from the middle, throws again, got a man, but he just didn't see it. That's Troy Evans. It was right behind him, right there for the grabbing, and Evans sort of ran the wrong way.
Well, we've seen a lot of miscommunication in this first half on running plays, on pass plays, and when you're a quarterback and you're not sure what your guy's going to do from one time to the next, you throw the ball very tentatively. But I thought Christian threw the ball very well right there. Just right there, Evans unable to figure out where it was. He was looking over his left shoulder, and it would have been over his right shoulder. So very unfortunate right there. But again, that's a young team trying to get it together, and they're playing the best team in the league tonight.
All right, so it's fourth down and long. They've got to kick it now. Tanner Klugian to kick. Miles back deep. Remember last time he just hammered it into the stands, which gave Arizona the ball at the 20. You don't want to do that right now. And the kick is on its way. This has got a chance, and it is good for a field goal. Coach, they did it. They got the points you so desired. It's a 17-point game. How huge is that?
Well, now the defense has got to show up here in the final 37 seconds.
What a long field goal. Look at this, and just snuck it right inside the left upright.
Well, he flat out hammered that thing.
Remember the last one, he just sliced it right into the mezzanine.
Yeah, that's going to be a big confidence builder for him right there. I mean, that ball took off his foot. That was huge. Now, can the Strike Force defense step it up and hold Arizona out of the end zone with only 37 seconds to go in the first half? You see right there, big Sam Anno, former San Diego Charger, longtime San Diegan. Ended up coaching with Pete Carroll for a while up there at USC, coached in the National Football League. All-around great guy, Sam Anno, working with the defense, working with the special teams, and boy, what a great add to this staff.
Huge field goal there by the San Diego State alum, Tanner Kuljian. Keeps him in the ball game. It's a 17-point game. Comes off of the takeaway, so that's 3 points off of a turnover. And the Strike Force have to feel pretty good about themselves, but they do need one more stop. I mean, they were looking at going down potentially 34-7 at half.
Well, you know, last week Arizona turned the ball over a fair amount. Powell actually threw a couple of interceptions last week, so we'll see how they play in the second half. But Strike Force need to get out of this first half.
Miles, great escapability a couple of times and fights his way to the 24-yard line. 27 seconds to go. Both teams have their full complement of timeouts. And again, the clock will stop on drop passes or balls that go off the board or into the end zone, and on first down makes. So this could be a long 27 seconds here.
I'll tell you, if you like football, no, it's not the NFL, but I'm going to tell you something. There's nothing not to like about indoor football. There really isn't. A lot of action, a lot of excitement. Yeah, a lot of people like to see guys collide with one another. You see some pretty good collisions out
I
here.
think my first ever game, AFL, LA Cobras back in the 80s at the Sports Arena in LA. Powell, they haven't laid a hand on him yet, throws it right, left, and the grab is made by Braxton Haley.
That was a nice catch.
Yep. And then David Haney pushes him into the boards. That stops the clock with 20 seconds to go, and they wind up gaining 8. It's 2nd and 2.
Watch Haley right here. I mean, he put the brakes on right here so he didn't knock the wind out of himself the best he could, and he just went up over the boards. Smart move by a good young receiver right there.
And those folks in the front row there, you get you what you pay for.
Hold on to your beverage of choice.
That's right. 20 seconds to go from the 19 on a 2nd down and short. Powell, plenty of time, fires for the back of the end zone, and going up to get it is Houston for the touchdown.
That isn't who he was thrown to, I might add.
Well, it worked, as Powell has a 3rd touchdown pass here of this first half.
Yeah, Powell was actually going to throw to an inside receiver cutting across the middle of the field, and ended up Isaiah Houston went up there and just pulled it in.
Remember what I told you about the final minute, right? And yeah, the Strike Force are going to get 2 possessions in the final 58 seconds. Lacayo now, he hit the left upright last time. He's missed 3 extra points now on the season. Former Strike Force kicker. And that one is right through. He leaves no doubt on the laser beam there, and it's 34-10, so it goes back to a 24-point advantage here.
Well, they can strike in a hurry, can't they?
Yes, they can, and depending on how fast the Strike Force can either score or make first downs, there's a good chance if you use your timeouts here, Arizona could get 1 more possession here in the final 14 seconds.
You might want to force Arizona to use all 3 of their timeouts.
Yeah.
Kind of go back and regroup a little bit. Boy, they can strike in a hurry. Wow.
34 first half points. They scored 50 last week to the Rattlers in a 50-28 win at home at the Footprint Center against the Duke City Gladiators. They ran for 118 last game and 2 scores. They had a pick 6 and a kick return for a score. So we haven't even seen that for the Arizona Rattlers so far tonight. It's been all offense here, scoring on all but 1 possession in this first half.
I got so much respect for the Arizona Rattlers, Steve. Watching arena football for so many years now, the IFL, I mean, they just do it year in and year out. It's pretty amazing how they've been able to, be one of the top teams for really 30 years now in indoor football.
Yeah, exactly 30 years. This is their 30th anniversary. They formed in 1992. Playing then was brand new, the America West Arena, home of the Suns. And this looks like it's Adams from the goal line. Adams escapes. Adams cuts back. Adams with a head of steam right into Rattlers territory and down at the 22. At least that takes 7 seconds off the clock there.
Well, you got a couple of opportunities now. Throw the ball in the end zone, see if you can hit on something. If not, even if you don't get in the end zone, at least try to get 3 out of it. Try to get something.
Yeah. And it's to the point now with 7 seconds left that the Rattlers, unless there's a turnover, should not get the football back.
And quite frankly, unless the defense and the Strike Force can show up in the second half and play much better, this offense could score every time they have the ball. It's going to be very difficult for them to win the ball game because their defense really is not getting it done right now, and this Rattler offense is just so potent.
Drive starts at the 23. Strike Force have a touchdown, a field goal, a blocked field goal, a missed field goal. Their field goal was a long one. Pressure comes, and Solano just gets drilled. Oh, my goodness. Let's introduce you to Trayvon Hill. 2.5 tackles for losses on the season. A huge sack here.
Yeah, Trayvon Hill coming from his defensive line spot, number 45. just beats the left guard right there. Comes in, and Solano had no chance whatsoever. Now, I'll tell you, Trayvon Hill played at a pretty good football school. Maybe not as strong as they were a decade or so ago, but the University of Miami.
Quite the program. That's the second sack of this first half. San Diego spends the timeout here with 3 seconds left, so they can have one more shot at the end zone here.
Yeah, I think you got to go a Big Ben right, maybe have 3 receivers just going up, spread out, throw the old jump ball, and see if somebody can pull it in.
This should be the final play of this electric first half. Arizona will have all 3 of their timeouts still up on the board when they hit halftime. 3 seconds left. Solano sends 2 in motion to the right. They only rush 2, and he fires, and it is deflected in the end zone, and that's it. Kyrie Woods with a knockdown pass, and that's how the first half ends here at Pechanga Arena in San Diego. Arizona scores on every one of their drives but one in the first half, and they take a 24-point lead with them into the half. And remember what their defense did last week against Duke City at home. They pitched the shutout.
Yeah, they certainly did, and Kevin Guy got his team off to a very good start. They scored 50 points in that win last week against Duke City, 50-28, and they're off to a great start offensively and defensively tonight. Not even say special teams-wise, they recovered an onside kick.
And remember, it was only 7-0 after 1 quarter play. Let's send it down to the third member of our team, Melissa May. Melissa?
What message are you going to give to your team, and what adjustments do you have to make in the half to come out and be just as powerful as them?
Yeah, we got to be better in the red zone. We had a couple opportunities early. We just didn't cash in on them, and we got to stop the big play. We're going to fight. We're going to fight hard. We're learning a lot about ourselves tonight, but we just got to fix some things on defense at half, and we just got to not give up big plays.
It was kind of a momentum shifter with that fumble being reversed with about 6 minutes left in the second, which resulted in that touchdown from Solano to Rogers. What would you say about the resiliency of the team to show that they just didn't give up?
Yeah, these guys aren't going to give up. We're going to play as hard as we can, as long as we can. We know what we're in for. We just got to keep getting better.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Back to you.
Hey guys, Kat here from Catalyst Wellness. Our mission is to help patients feel their best from the inside out.
After a hard workout, your body really needs more than water. Just ask our Strikeforce athletes.
We focus on giving what your body needs to heal with every treatment that we offer.
We also offer aesthetics treatments to help patients look their best.
Come by for IV therapy and absorb what your body really needs.
With our unique medical therapies, we'll get you back to work, back to family, and back to life. Come see us soon.
Food became personal to me when a sports injury ended my career in baseball. Improper nutrition was the
some noise real quick. Y'all having a good time? All right, y'all, my name is Frankie D from Channel 933. If you got one of those mini footballs, hold it up real quick. If you guys got one of those mini footballs, hold them up real quick. It's time to do our air raid. As you see, I got some buckets next to me. On the count of 3, what I want you guys to do is toss those balls into the buckets. If the ball gets in there, you get the prize. Are y'all ready? 3, 2, 1, throw those balls, let's go! Get these little buckets, you got this, get these little buckets, come on. You guys got that, let's go, let's go, let's go, we got this, let's go. Let's go, let's get these little buckets, come on. Right beside these buckets, you got this. Let's go, Strike Force fans, come on, come on, come on. So close out, we almost know it right here, let's go, y'all, you got this. If y'all got those little balls, man, let's go. It's on air raid. That was supposed to go in. Let's go. You get a jersey. Come on now. Strike Force fans, let's see those arms. Come on. Come on. You got any more balls left? Get those bottle balls in. Let's go. I see you guys holding out. Get into that bucket. We'll get you set up. You got some jersey more. Come on now. Let's see what's on. Some close over here. Some close over here. Come on, let's get some of those balls. Come on. Come on, y'all. All right, guys, you got 5 seconds left, and you got a ball tossed out there. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round of applause for our Strike Force fans. Make some noise! Check. How amazing was that, by the way? Strike Force fans, you are amazing. My name is Frankie B from Channel 933, and we'd like to recognize some great people in football here in San Diego. If you guys can stand up and applause for each one of these amazing people, we truly appreciate it. As the honor these 5 San Diego legends of football for the commitment and contribution in the game. First, I'd like to honor Derek Carrington Sr. He's played 8 seasons in the NFL. He started in the Super Bowl for the San Diego Chargers. He was the kick returner for the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl. He set a franchise record, finishing the game with 6 kick returns for 146 yards. Give it up for Derek Carrington Sr. Next, I'd like to honor Sam Arnold. Let me tell you about Sam real quick. He owns the all-time tackle record for a single game at USC with 23 tackles against Illinois in 1986. He was voted in the NFL for 7 years and was voted team captain in 3 years, playing for both the Raiders and the Chargers. And he was voted NFL Special Team Player of the Year in 1989. Give a big round of applause for Sam Arnold! Next, I'd like to honor Marion Gardnera. He was the 2021 PPR Coach of the Year. He led Smith Ranch High School to the San Diego Division II CIF title in 2021. He led the play activist. He played baseball.
And welcome back inside Pechanga Arena here. Opening night, at least for the home portion of the schedule for the 2020 season for the San Diego Strike Force. Back alongside the coach, Sean Quintero. I'm Steve Quiss. And boy, what a second quarter it was for the Arizona Rattlers. They score 4 times. It was a 7-0 ball game in favor of Arizona after 1 quarter of play. And oh, by the way, the Rattlers, remember, they deferred to the second half, so they're going to get a ball first to start this second half of play. Your thoughts on the first half, Coach?
Well, the first half, we knew the Arizona Rattlers were going to be very tough. And talking with Coach Beazer, he knew this was going to be a tough challenge for his young football team. His second game as a head coach in indoor football.
That's right.
So it's a work in progress, but, I think what he said to Melissa at the end of the first half coming off the field, hey, our guys are going to play hard, and I do believe that. The defense is going to have to play much better. They need to tighten it up. Their corners need to be a little bit tighter. They've got to get much more out of their defensive line, I think, in the second half. Powell, the talented quarterback for Arizona, had far too much time to, look at and navigate the field, throw the football or run the football. And, again, they're just an experienced indoor football team going against a lot of guys that are just been together now the last few months.
Yeah, the defense for the Strike Force didn't even lay a hand on Powell. And, again, they're going to have a lot of possessions here in the second half. And a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, they scored 91 points, a franchise record against a different-looking San Diego Strike Force team. While we have a moment before we get ready to kick off the third quarter, let's take a look at the the standings, after just 1 week of play. This, of course, is week number 2. We do know there's a couple of teams like the Bay Area Panthers who've already played 2 games. And for the Bismarck Bucks, I don't know how they did it, but they've already played 3 games. They're sitting there at 2-1. There's your current IFL standings. Anything stand out at you, Coach?
It's still early in the year. Obviously, Arizona, the number 1 ranked team right now in the IFL. They're going to be up there. The Bay Area Panthers. I thought they played pretty well last week. To be honest with you, I thought the Strike Force outplayed them most of that ball game, but they walked away with a 38-33 victory. And the Barnstormers, I guess I'm a little surprised. They're 0-1 right now.
Yeah.
The other thing that is kind of interesting, and I think a lot of it goes back to Kevin Guy and the history of the Arizona Rattlers. You've got the Tucson Sugar Skulls who came in a few years ago, but you also have the Northern Arizona Wranglers that are in there. So you've got 3 IFL teams now in the state of Arizona, and I think a lot of it has to do with the history of the Arizona Rattlers.
Well, I'm a proud University of Arizona alum, and I worked there in the market for 11 years, and I would have never thought that Arizona would be the hotbed of indoor football. I could have written my thesis on it, Coach, with the Rattlers, Northern Arizona playing up there in Prescott, and Sedona, and the Sugar Skulls are under good direction down there at the TCC, the Tucson Community Center. While we have a moment, look ahead to the schedule. We talked about this being the home opener, right, for 2022. And then this Strike Force team, because of scheduling, right, we're sharing this building here, Pechanga Arena, with not only the Seals and the Gulls, but also the San Diego Soccer. So there's 4 tenants, there's concerts and all. So out on the road will go the Strike Force the next 4 weeks. They're at Northern Arizona on the 22nd. Then they go to Tucson, so they're in the state of Arizona 3 straight times. Might as well just get a timeshare there. I'm kind of a mogul, a real estate mogul there. I've got a place they can all stay. So at the Sugar Skulls on the 9th, and then against these Arizona Rattlers at the Footprint Center on April the 15th, and then you go to Bismarck on May 1st, and so we won't see the Strike Force inside this building all of the month of April. Next time they're here will be May 7th in this building against the Pirates.
You know, I think as a coach, you look at the schedule, you got to, just play for that week, but, you look at that a couple of different ways, Steve. I mean, with a young football team, you'd like to have some home games, get some W's. It's tough out on the road, but when you're out on the road, especially for that period of time, it really forces one guy to rely on the guy to the left and right of him, and it could really galvanize this team. This team is going to win some football games this year. This team, from what I've seen so far, is in shape. They're well coached. Dave Beaver will tell you the first thing he told me tonight. He goes, "Hey, Coach, this is a totally different game than coaching 11-man football." He goes, "I've really poured my heart and soul into this, trying to learn the little nuances." And he goes, "I'm going to learn a lot tonight going against Kevin Guy and the Arizona Rattlers." And that's how they kind of looked at this game. They weren't telling the players that.
Right.
But I think a lot of the coaches that have very little, if no indoor experience, they're going to learn a lot tonight, and they're going to take a lot away from this game.
This is the 17th game ever in franchise history, and the Strike Force came into existence 2019. We had last year banged because of COVID and the restrictions in California while the rest of the league played, those outside of California. And so the team is 1-14 in their previous 15 games. Remember, you had that one game in the 2020 season. This is returnable. This is Houston. Gets ahead of steam, and Houston still on his feet. And Houston will roll over a defender and is down at the 19-yard line. And, boy, the Rattlers have terrific starting field position to open up the third quarter after a second quarter in which they scored 4 touchdowns.
I didn't think Houston was going to go down there. I mean, you talk about a good aggressive run, just pretty much bringing it up to the middle, taking it over to the far side. And just a good vision on that return. That was a really impressive return.
Rattlers had as big as a 21-0 lead just under 9 minutes into the second quarter. Remember, it was 7-0 after one quarter of play. Powell has thrown 3 touchdowns. They also have 2 rushing touchdowns. Miles is a 2-yard rushing touchdown, and then Phillips had that wonderful 22-yard scamper where he danced into the end zone. Drive starts officially at the San Diego 20-yard line. Powell, fantastic. The IFL 2021 MVP, left-handed southpaw, throws it to Houston, gets him in space, and he's awfully close to another Arizona first down at the 10.
Steve, I was watching number 79 that time, an offensive lineman for Arizona, and he really is an impressive guy. He's had a great ball game right now. Kenny Thomas Jr., 6'6", 330 out of Louisville. He plays on the left side of the offensive line, and he's really impressive. Good feet. I can see why Powell, along with the other 2 offensive linemen, why he has so much time. Those guys up front have done a heck of a job tonight. They really have.
Yeah, Kenny Thomas Jr. is a road grader, to say the least. 2 in motion from the right side to the left, and Powell fakes the dive, keeps it, and dives for the first down. Picks up 3, needed 1, first and goal from around the 8-yard line. And this is where they're so good, the Rattlers. They were 5 for 5 in the red zone last week. They've been perfect in the red zone here in this ball game.
They ran the ball really well last week against the Gladiators, and that big offensive line, they just pound ahead, especially with a lead. I mean, you don't have to get fancy. You just want to pound the football, wear down the defense, and run the clock. Get out of here as healthy as you can.
They keep it. Powell diving for the end zone, and he's in. Touchdown. Man, Calvin Phillips was in motion. They faked the dive to him, roll out Powell, and they're in the end zone again here.
Little read option right here, but you know what? I don't think there was a whole lot of read. I think Powell wanted to take that ball right from the get-go. The defense of the strike force bit, and Powell able to get around that right end rather easily as he dives into the end zone. And what a start once again for the second half for Arizona.
Powell with his first rushing touchdown, Arizona's third of the game. Ernesto Lacayo, he's missed one PAT, this to make it 41-10, and bangs that one through. It is, in fact, 41-10 with 12:21 to go here in quarter number 3. 31-point deficit, the largest of the game, faced by the San Diego Strike Force in their 2022 home opener.
Well, you know, if you're Dave Beecher, you got to tell these guys at halftime, hey, look, guys, we're going to continue to play hard. I know there's a lot of character in this locker room. You know, we've got an uphill battle. We're going to go out there, and we're going to put 0-0 on the scoreboard. We're going to start this thing over. We're going to win this second half. We're going to get better as a football team. When we get better in the second half as a football team, it's going to start carrying us as we move on to the schedule. But a lot of learning going on tonight for, I think, the players and the coaches of the Strike Force.
Easier said than done because the Rattlers have not allowed a point in the second half all season. Now it's a small sample size, one game against Duke City, but that is quite an accomplishment when you're talking about indoor football. The Rattlers, founded in 1992, proud members of the IFL, and in their 4 seasons in which the Rattlers have competed here in the IFL, they've won a championship in 2017. They've qualified for the United Bowl 3 times, 17, 19, and 21. So that means, if you look at the trends, they won't be in this year, but they're set up for another return next year. And, of course, Arizona spent 24 seasons before that in the Arena Football League. And in that time, they made 10 appearances in the Arena Bowl, and they won 5 Arena Bowls. This one fielded at the goal line. Here's Adams. He's been kind of the bright spot here, fighting his way out towards the 20-yard line.
I can guarantee you this, Ishmael's going to sleep very, very well tonight.
That it wasn't Adams, I beg your pardon, though. It was, in fact, Devontae Sapp Lynch. Again, these are like those uniforms. Remember when the Robinson brothers and Norman Powell played at Lincoln High?
Yeah.
We were doing, I think you and I were doing the CIF championship games, and they came out in uniforms like this at Jenny Craig Pavilion, and we're like, oh, come on, guys.
You know, I was kind of surprised Sapp Lynch is back there returning when you got Hoodie Rogers and you got Ishmael Adams.
I think I wouldn't want to put the wear and tear on Hoodie Rogers, to be quite honest with you. Lynch is going to be one of the guys now from the left side who goes in motion. Solano was sacked twice in the first half, throws left to the motion man, which was Sapp Lynch, and it's incomplete up near the 25, bringing up 2nd and 10 from the 20-yard line.
I got news for him. They may want to stay away from number 9, Kyrie Woods, the defensive back out of San Diego State University, the reigning IFL Defensive Player of the Week.
I don't remember him at all as an Aztec. Interesting. Playing well, 11.5 to go here in the third quarter. 2nd down and 10 from the 20. Both in motion now on the right side. They're going to run it. Handoff and diving forward. I think that's the first carry of the game for Elijah E.B. Token Hanks. Is that E.B. Token Hanks? Let's see. No, 26. Trayvon Van, rather. We haven't seen Elijah E.B. Token Hanks, the kid out of Newark, New Jersey. Had a rushing touchdown last week. Where's number 24?
Yeah, we've seen Trayvon Van just run the ball a couple of times. The first time was very dynamic. That time, that defensive line gobbled him up.
We're going to have to get me some sort of an eyeglass partnership or change the numbers out. Solano under pressure, backside pressure comes, and he's pulled down at the 5-yard line. It's Trayvon Hill with his 2nd sack of Solano in this game.
Now, Trayvon Hill coming on blitz right there. Well, he's a well put-together athlete at 6'4", 255, and just pulling Solano down right there.
Yeah, and Solano's got to come out, giving way to the backup quarterback for at least one play, Steve Cluley, who's out of Manasquan, New Jersey.
Had a good career at William & Mary, by the way.
Brings up 4th down, so Cluley actually comes out to hold here for the kick. Miles goes back, so I beg your pardon. And here's Kuljian, who made a long one last time. This might be a little out of his range here, especially with a scoreboard. Let's see. Got to keep it down low. It's going to be returnable by Miles. He has it, nobody in front of him for 20 yards. Gets ahead of steam and then goes back toward the 5. Got a block coming up right side. There's a penalty marker, and he's going to return this one for a score. But hold everything, we've got a penalty marker.
Well, that's going to come back, but I'll tell you, that's the risk that you run when you try it from that long. You hit a line drive. You got a bunch of big offensive linemen that aren't necessarily going to set a world record in the 440, okay? And that's exactly what happens. That's going to come back, block in the back. Easy play to call.
That is Jim Schaefer, our referee.
Media timeout.
And he calls a media timeout here with 9:38 to go. Let's take a break. 9:38 to go here in the third quarter of play. 41-10. Arizona Rattlers with the lead.
Hey guys, Kat here from Catalyst Wellness. Our mission is to help patients feel their best from the inside out.
After a hard workout, your body really needs more than water. Just ask our Strikeforce athletes.
We focus on giving what your body needs to heal with every treatment that we offer.
We also offer aesthetics treatments to help patients look their best.
Come by for IV therapy and absorb what your body really needs.
With our unique medical therapies, we'll get you back to work, back to family, and back to life. Come see us soon.
Food became personal to me when a sports injury ended my career in baseball. Improper nutrition was the catalyst to my downfall. Through that realization, my wife and I went on a mission to create a meal prep company with a purpose. We knew that meal prep wasn't just about making healthy meals and selling them online. It was about making an impact for the people in our community, the performance athlete, the busy mother and father, and the developing team, to optimize their lives through nutrition. We also knew the true results went beyond just a couple healthy meals a day. So we decided to implement a free nutritional consultation where we discuss the best program suited for you and your goal. Through this process, you learn what it takes to see a better version of yourself while taking more time back.
And we welcome you back. Demery Croft appears to be the new quarterback in here now, slinging it. He tried to sling one right there on first down, and the ball got knocked down. After that return was wiped out, that return by Miles was more than 50 yards. Remember, he took it out of the end zone and he went out to about the 15, then back to the 5. Ran about 65 yards only to get it called back. And so here's Demery Croft. Did not play in the opener. In for Powell now to get some work with a 31-point lead. And he pitches it out right to Calvin Phillips. And Phillips, who has a touchdown, such a strong runner, gets near the first down. Again, he was just signed this week when Malik Williams was lost after the opener with a season-ending leg injury.
Well, what a good guy to sign. I mean, he's been pretty impressive tonight.
Every one of his runs have been strong for plus 7, 8, 9 yards. He even had that long touchdown run in a 4-touchdown second quarter for Arizona. This is the Rattlers' second drive of the third quarter. They won the toss, deferred to the second half, and after taking a big lead of 34-10 at the break, scored on their opening drive with a Powell touchdown run. Croft, and he keeps it up to the 24-yard line, has enough for a first down on 3rd and 1 to move the clock.
Well, this is good. I mean, you want to try to get your backup quarterback, an opportunity now rather than get that opportunity when your star quarterback goes down. And, the Powell's had a big night and done a great job running the Rattlers offense, the IFL MVP a year ago. He gets at least a series off, and this is good to get your backup some work.
Going to send Ton Afay in motion. Croft looking on the crossing route. Ball's in the air, incomplete, looking for Houston, who's got a touchdown catch. That might have been a break right there for San Diego, but nobody was around it.
Houston running an in route, and Croft put the ball there. He put some juice on this ball, but this is a ball right there that needs to be caught. I mean, hit him right in the face mask, and Croft will tell you, you watch him get up, and he was mad at himself. That ball was very well thrown.
Yeah, he's got a little zip on that thing right there.
Yeah.
It was David Haney in the coverage, and London Iacopo almost had the interception. Brings up 2nd down and 10 from back of the Rattlers' 23-yard line. Croft runs right up the middle and gets to the San Diego 19-yard line before his progress is stopped. Stepped right through that pocket.
I don't know if I'd want to be the backup quarterback behind Drew Powell, who's won 2 IFL MVPs.
Powell, in his 3rd season with the Rattlers, led his team to the United Bowl last year. And as we had mentioned, he's been the MVP, has Drew Powell, twice in the IFL, once with Iowa, once with Arizona. But you never know when your number is going to be called, and it gets called here in San Diego on the opening night at home for the Strike Force. Now under center, something we rarely see, Coach. Croft, and that's going to be a penalty marker as he puts it in the belly of Calvin Phillips.
Well, they had 2 guys in motion, which is legal.
Snap. Full start. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
They get that road grader, Kenny Thomas Jr., Coach.
Yeah, trying to get a little bit of a head start right there. But you're allowed to have 2 players in motion. You can't have 3, and it was a false start anyways by Kenny Powell.
Another big penalty for the Rattlers here in this 3rd quarter.
Or Kenny Thomas, I should say.
6 minutes exactly to go here in a fast-moving 3rd quarter. Usually the 1st and 3rd quarters are pretty quick. 2nd and 4th, you can be here for a while. Back out of the shotgun is Croft, and that ball got batted down right at the line of scrimmage.
It almost looked like he was trying to stop his throwing motion, and the ball slipped out and ran right into one of the Strike Force players.
Yeah, I think it was the San Diegan Ben Moa, 6'4", 285 here, knocking this one down. Number 55, watch. Yeah, oh, no, he threw it in the back of his own player.
Yeah.
Right into...
It looked like he was trying to stop his arm, but it was too late, and the ball came out.
He threw it right into Anthony McMeans, his center. How about that? 4th down now. They got to go for it. Strike Force need a stop. No pressure, just dumped off right there to Phillips. Phillips to the 15. There is a penalty marker. He's got the 1st down yardage, and they finally bring him down. About 5 of the 8 Strike Force players that are legally allowed to be on the field finally get him down.
Let's see what the penalty is. Probably a hold. It's in that area right now. Let's see.
I wonder if this will change what the Rattlers do if on 4th down here, if it's backed up 5 or 10 yards, if they'll try and kick it.
It's either going to be a hold
result of the play
or
is a completed pass for a 1st down. You have a personal foul, hands to the face. On the defense, half the distance penalty, 1st and goal.
Oh, man. So the catch holds up and a hands to the face penalty against San Diego.
20.
They get Malik Lawal. You might recall us calling his name earlier on that onside kick. Oh, man. So now the ball will rest at the 6-yard line on 1st and goal.
That hurts. It looked like it was going to be a holding penalty, and then they didn't move back. I thought, you know what, maybe there was a defensive bad alignment, but no, they got hands to the face.
Croft back of the end zone, touchdown. Throws it right into the awaiting arms of Braxton Haley, and the route is on. They take advantage of the hands to the face penalty. That was on one of the linemen who popped Croft on that last play, setting up 1st and goal at the 6, and the short little touchdown throw, and Croft's in on the fun.
Yeah, way too much room in that secondary tonight. They're going to have to tighten that up. I don't care who you're playing. You gotta be a little bit more aggressive with these wide receivers. They're doing pretty much whatever they want to tonight.
Lacayo, snap was high, and Ernesto bangs it right through. And that makes it 48-10. 38-point deficit here for the Strike Force with 4 minutes to go in quarter number 3. The Rattlers have failed to score on only one drive the entire ball game, and that was that turnover when it looked like they were headed in for a touchdown. 4 minutes to go in the third. Let's step aside a break. 48-10, Arizona with the lead.
Hey guys, Kat here from Catalyst Wellness. Our mission is to help patients feel their best from the inside out.
After a hard workout, your body really needs more than water. Just ask our Strike Force athletes.
We focus on giving what your body needs to heal with every treatment that we offer.
We also offer aesthetics treatments to help patients look their best.
Come by for IV therapy and absorb what your body really needs.
With our unique medical therapies, we'll get you back to work, back to family, and back to life. Come see us soon.
Food became personal to me when a sports injury ended my career in baseball. Improper nutrition was the catalyst to my downfall. Through that realization, my wife and I went on a mission to create program suited for
Back alongside the coach, John Quintero, I'm Steve Quist, third member of our team, Melissa May, working down on arena level. Lacayo to kick things off. 2 more scores in the third quarter for Arizona. They've outscored San Diego 14-0 here in this third quarter. That's Sap Lynch, and Sap Lynch is going to be corralled and brought down by Devontae Merriweather right at the 15-yard line. See if Solano comes back out. Remember, he was a little banged up before they went and had the kick on 4th down and was gingerly walking off. 3:53 to go here in the third.
You got to kind of wonder where the score's at right now at 48-10. Maybe get Christian Solano through this period and maybe get a little work for their backup quarterback out here, Stephen Cluley, in the fourth quarter. Get his feet wet.
Solano, the former Wolfpack quarterback, comes back out there. Passed for a touchdown, ran for another last week, in which the Strike Force were stopped on the goal line on the final play of the game. If they get it in, they win. They'd be 1-0. Here's a pass right and a catch by Troy Evans, who's out of Hayward High School, played for the Spokane Shock last year, his 6th year in the IFL.
Yeah, just a quick out by Troy Evans Jr. right there against Brandon Ezel in the man-to-man coverage. They're setting him up. They're setting him up. He'll run that out, but he got big speed where he can get up the field, lull him to sleep with a couple of outs and then go over the top. But nice job by Solano throwing that ball to the outside of Troy Evans Jr. Very nice pitch and catch right there.
We just had a penalty marker thrown. Here's Jim Schaefer.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 45, taunting on a defense. 15-yard penalty.
So that's on Trayvon Hill. 15-yard penalty. He got tangled up there with Emerald Fali Tui Papai, who's the newest member, just signed this week after being released in camp just before week 1, and then comes back when G. White Stallworth went down with a leg injury, knee injury last week. So 15 yards here, gives the ball to the 16. And an opportunity here for the Strike Force, who've had 1 touchdown in this game, and that's been it. Solano 8-yard TD throw, but it was 21-0. Dante Sap Lynch goes left and is to the 15, but all that work, he gains maybe 2 yards at best.
Well, he's having to work for every inch against this Rattler defense. This defense, not only are they physical, Steve, they're really quick sideline to sideline. That's been the most impressive Sap Lynch right now, just trying to find some little bit of daylight, comes back in, and he just runs into a whole crowd of defenders for the Rattlers.
2nd and 9 from the 14-yard line for San Diego.
There have been times tonight, it seems like the Rattlers are playing with like 9 or 10 players out there.
Clock moving at 2:04 and counting. Solano sends 2 in motion and then hands it off on a dive. Diving forward is Trayvon Van. Another carry for Van here out of San Diego. Still some work to do. 3rd down and roughly 7 from about the 12. So 2 running plays and not much in the interior there against the Rattlers.
Well, I think you're going to see as the season moves on, I think you're going to see more of Trayvon Van. You know, just getting in with the strike force this week, still kind of getting familiarized with the playbook.
48-10 Arizona. 90 seconds to go in this 3rd quarter. Home opener for San Diego. And Devontae Sap Lynch went left, grabbed by Trayvon Hill, somehow got out of it, but then got cleaned up by Devontae Merriweather. And there's another penalty marker. There might be another taunting. This time it might be against the strike force. They might give that penalty yardage back here, which would bring up 3rd and eternity, Coach.
Well, after Trayvon Hill went over there by the boards, he kind of got on the boards, and he almost looked like a WWE
Number
guy.
45 on the defense.
Another one.
They got him
With
again.
a half the distance penalty, be a 1st and goal. That is his 2nd unsportsmanlike conduct. He is disqualified from the game.
Wow, that's big right there. So Trayvon Hill, who has been all over Solano in the backfield and making plays, gets tossed out of the game.
Well, I think, he's applauding as he's walking to the bench, but I'll tell you what, somewhere along the line, his head coach is going to have a word with him.
Yeah, if this was a tighter game, they might be in a world of hurt here. With a 38-point advantage, they'll likely sustain this, but out he goes.
It looks like they're going to review something or check on the clock here.
1:14 up on the clock. Penalty would get it half the distance to the goal, so it's going to be 1st and goal from the 7-yard line. There is a discussion between the official and I don't know if that's the defensive coordinator. It might be the defensive coordinator for the Rattlers, and they're making Trayvon Hill leave to a chorus of boos. So that was it. The officials wanted to make sure that if you get ejected, you cannot stay in the on the bench. You got to leave, and so he's gone. They'll shower him up and get him ready for the trip home. Solano to Dante Sap Lynch, spins, and then from the backside gets hammered.
Now, this defensive line and linebackers have just been too much for this offensive line tonight. I mean, and you can even see, taking a look at the strike force right now, they're getting wore down a little bit. That offensive line, I mean, those 3 guys have gone the distance. Zion Jones, a very nice outside offensive lineman. He started last week on the left side, moved over to right. And Damian Britt, I think, done a pretty good job overall at center, but they're having a tough night against this defensive front.
Lamar Matty, who just came in for Hill, got the got the last tackle, and Hill comes out, and then Javier Edwards out of Colorado is able to sack Solano back at the 20-yard line. It's just been that kind of night. The Rattlers, it doesn't matter if their best pass rusher just gets tossed out, and that's going to be the final play of the 3rd quarter. And when we come back, 3rd and eternity, 3rd and goal.
End of the quarter.
From the 19-yard line will be upcoming for the strike force, who've had a rough go of it here offensively here tonight. Back to Pechanga Arena in San Diego for the start of the 4th quarter right after this.
Faces
We also offer aesthetics treatments to help patients look their best.
Coming out of halftime, the team was still pretty loose and motivated to play in front of this very enthusiastic crowd. The whole entire team is back except for D lineman Terrence Fuller. He is injured on the side. Other than that, the full team is ready to play and hopefully change this score up. Back to you in the booth.
Yeah, she makes a good point. I hadn't called Terrence Fulham's name in a while, and he's, one of the cornerstones, right? This franchise came about in 2019, had a full season. Terrence was a big part of it. Then you play one game in 20, can't play in 2021 because of the COVID restrictions. Fulham is out. He played early in this game, but he's out injured. That could be a big loss moving forward, Coach.
There's no question about it. I mean, he had experience also playing with the Sugar Skulls over there in Tucson out of the University of Richmond, a really talented player.
Please reset the game clock to 15 minutes. 15.
They're going to reset the game clock here to 15 minutes.
Thank you.
38-point advantage for the Arizona Rattlers. One more touchdown, and it'll be the 5th time in 5 meetings that Arizona has scored 50 or more points against the San Diego Strike Force. Solano, 3 in motion now, and there is a penalty marker. That's interesting. I heard somebody shouting 3 guys in motion.
Prior to the snap, full start.
Yeah, you can only have 2.
3 men in motion.
Well, that's interesting. If everybody saw it, how come the Strike Force didn't? The actual players themselves had 3 guys in motion, and that'll cost them 5 yards. It's game number 2. Ball be back to the 24-yard line, so it's 3rd and goal from the 24. Strike Force have 1 touchdown. It came with 4:10 to go in the second quarter. Solano, the 8-yard TD throw, made it 21-7 at the time. It was a manageable deficit. Now they're down 38.
That's going to be another false start.
My goodness.
And you know what? You could pick. It's probably going to be on the right guard.
And they've switched out quarterbacks as we suspected.
Encroachment, defense, number 93.
Oh, they're going to call it defense.
Penalty. 3rd down.
Wow.
So now it'll be 3rd and goal from the 21, and here's our first look at Steve Cluley from Manasquan, New Jersey. That's not him right there. That's Edwards. That's the guy who's going to chase down Cluley right now.
Now, does that look like a defensive lineman,
yes,
huh?
It does. Looks like an NFL defensive lineman.
That guy would be playing for the Chicago Bears on a cold, windy, rainy, snowy Sunday at Soldier Field.
Seems hardly fair. So Cluley at quarterback to start the 4th quarter. Takes the snap. They didn't call hold there. He throws and connects at the 10. And so now it's 4th and goal as the catch was made by Rashad Ross.
How was that not holding?
Hey, we'll take it, right? And so now it is 4th and goal from the 11. Of course, you got to go for it. It makes no sense to kick it right here. It'd be a chip shot field goal for Colgian. See if the Strike Force behind Cluley can get a little momentum right here. Secondary's been outstanding in this game here for Arizona. All 3 receivers are to the left. 2 of them go in motion. Cluley with the pressure coming, and he gets hammered at the 20 and drilled back to the 24. The drive is over, and who else? Trayvon Williams.
Wow, he might be in the running for the IFL Defensive Player of the Week. Kyrie Woods won it last week for Arizona.
In this game, you can only blitz one guy. You can only send one, but when he's as good as Trayvon Williams, what does it matter? And they've come away with this at least 3-4 times here in the game, Arizona.
Well, when you don't keep a back end to block and your offensive line's having problems, I mean, if they know you're going with an empty backfield, they're going to bring someone.
So the clock is running, almost a minute gone by here in this 4th quarter. For Arizona, they'll continue with their backup here for another series, Demery Croft, so likely won't see the starting quarterbacks again. Here's Calvin Phillips. He doesn't look like he was unemployed a week ago. He escapes, and he is in. Are they going to mark him down? I think they're going to mark him down that he touched the wall. He thinks he's in, but they're going to mark him down around the 7-yard line. Still, Calvin Phillips, my goodness.
This guy is running like a freight train tonight. You know what I can't believe? He just signed.
Yeah.
Well, where was he? Was he on a trip in Europe or something?
They have a better back in Malik Williams that made the opening day roster, who had a big week last week. He had 2 rushing touchdowns, also caught a touchdown in the 50-28 win over Duke City.
This guy's a flat-out load.
Williams goes down with an injury. They get Phillips and forget about it. And there's Croft, and the play blown up. Croft loses a few yards, and that's Malik Lawal, who's out of Temecula, 6'1", 237, the inside linebacker.
I wouldn't think Kevin Guy, the head coach, I don't think he's going to bring Powell back tonight.
No.
Let him enjoy the rest of the evening over there on the sidelines. He and his offensive mates did a heck of a job tonight, and give your backup Croft a little work.
Croft out of the shotgun. Phillips to his left, 2 in motion right, 3 receivers right now. Croft, and it got batted right back to him, made his own catch, and then throws it, but you can't do that. Threw a touchdown pass to Houston, but that's an illegal pass.
Well,
oh, my goodness, but it's the highlight of the night.
Well, he should have took off running with it. That way he could have had a pass completion to himself.
Yep. You can't throw it twice. So it bounces off either his own guy or one of the strike force to Croft.
Illegal forward pass. Number 6. He threw 2 forward passes. 5-yard penalty, spotted a foul.
This is spectacular. This is the play of the night right here. Watch.
If you don't first succeed, try again. And, man, he threw a flat-out bullet for what would have been a touchdown, but you can't throw the ball twice. He could have took off and run with it.
Yeah, it went off the helmet of a strike force player right here. Watch this. No, off the arm of Cooper. So off of Deshaun Cooper, right to Croft, and then he throws it in the end zone for a touchdown, but a legal forward pass. I've seen that happen before. You know who did it? Drew Bledsoe, Washington State against Arizona. 30 years ago at Arizona Stadium, he threw it. It went off a guy. He caught it, and he ran it in. Did Bledsoe for a touchdown. Yeah, so it's been done before.
I don't think Croft wanted any part of running, to be honest with you.
Because he'd run into Ricky Wyatt probably.
Yeah.
That pass is complete up near the 14-yard line. Houston again, who's got a touchdown catch. A lot of heavy lifting for the Rattlers. The one guy's name we haven't heard was the Georgia Military College graduate, Todd Athey, who had 2 touchdown catches in week 1, covering 24 yards for the Rattlers. He was their top receiver coming in. There you see number 5 in the middle of your screen. Still a ways to go, though. 11 and a half in this fourth quarter. 4th down now. So they got to go for the end zone now. They got it 4th and goal. Can San Diego get the stop? Croft, and they're going to get the stop at the 11-yard line. That's Lawwell who brings down Croft, and Arizona finally turns it over on downs here.
Yeah, I'm just watching this Arizona team tonight, Steve. I mean, we knew how good they were coming in, and quite frankly, they're a little bit better than I thought. I knew they were going to be probably the best team in the IFL, and we'll see how that plays out over the course of the year. Long ways to go. But offensively, they're very talented. But defensively, the speed on defense will really impress me. And here's the strike force. I mean, they're down big in this game. They're continuing to play hard right now. And even going against the backup quarterback, hey, they got to stop. Let's see if they can get something going with their backup quarterback now offensively and make this game a little bit more respectful.
Steve Cluley gets his 2nd drive of the game. It starts all the way back at his own 11-yard line. Strike Force have had 2 scoring drives, and that's it. And here's a connection. Cluley to Ross, and he immediately gets hammered. Jacoby Taylor with a stop. Not much of a gain, maybe a yard at best. Now they give him a little more than that, I beg your pardon. It's about 4 or 5 yards, so 2nd down, and we'll call it 5.
Jacoby Taylor coming up from his cornerback spot, putting a pretty good shot on Ross right there. Jacoby Taylor played his college ball at Arizona State.
10:21 and counting to go here in the 4th. 2 in motion right side. Cluley takes the snap, looks that way, throws into coverage. Catch made at the 25. That's Evans Jr., and he does it with Merriweather right on him. Enough for a 1st down.
That was a great throw and a great catch. I mean, Troy going into the boards right there. You knew that you were going to meet Mr. Board over there. And Troy Evans Jr., great job and a good ball. You know, almost throwing a little bit inside, but a great adjustment by Troy making the catch. Merriweather right on the play. But, man, when you're running that out pattern into those boards and you know that you're going to get hit by a player, you got to catch the ball and you know the boards are there and they're not going anywhere. I mean, you got to have some intestinal fortitude to play this indoor game. I can tell you that. This is not for the faint of heart playing indoor football. You better have some guts.
Timeout, San Diego.
Timeout, San Diego Strike Force. They're going to spend their first to discuss this. They have it first down and 10 at the 25-yard line, right at midfield. We'll keep it here inside Pechanga Arena. Opening night, great crowd on hand. And again, the next time we'll be back will be on May the 7th. This team goes out on the road for 4 straight games. They'll be in Arizona for 3 of those 4 games, and then Bismarck, North Dakota. But the weather should warm up just a little bit by May 1st.
You hope so.
I'm going to South Dakota in 2 weeks, so I'm going to go see Mount Rushmore. So
oh, nice.
I hope it warms up a little bit. 48-10. It was 7-0 after 1 quarter of play. It was 21-7 in favor of Arizona with 4:10 to go before halftime. And then pulling away the Rattlers. And so far, much like last week, Arizona's defense pitching a second-half shutout. That would be quite a thing to hang your hat on there if you could pitch back-to-back shutouts to open the season in the second half. 9:31 officially to go here in the 4th. Strike Force, if they can't rally, will fall to 0-2, and Arizona will get to 2-0 exiting the building tonight. About ready to play here. First down and 10 at the 25. Steve Cluley, backup quarterback in. Pocket holds up. Cluley steps up. Under pressure now. Flings it out of bounds. Right at the first down marker. No one in the area, and a fan's got a souvenir.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I was thinking Cluley might pull that ball down and run, but you know what? There wasn't a whole lot of room to run, and rather than taking an unnecessary hit, he just threw the ball away. Pretty smart move, actually. A lot of times when backup quarterbacks come in, they're always trying to show what they can do, and they force things, and it goes from bad to worse. That was a pretty smart play by Cluley.
Strike Force, I thought, got off to a pretty good start with some big plays on the opening drive and had the field goal blocked. Also had a field goal opportunity sail into the stands, giving Arizona good field position. Kind of snowballed after that first quarter of play. Dante Sapp Lynch went left, cut back right, and then gets hammered into the boards on the far sideline at the 18. Still going to be 3 yards shy of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 3 upcoming. He took a big hit from Jacoby Taylor.
Yeah, he did, and he's limping a little bit back to the huddle right now. Of course, here in the second half, he's been doing a lot on kickoff returns. Ishmael Adams, I don't know if he got nicked up a little bit or they're just trying to keep him from getting banged up. We haven't seen him really at all here in the second half.
And the last thing you want after week 2 is the casualties to mount. You got a long way to go. Again, the season doesn't end until July the 16th, the regular season, that is. And you got a few rounds of playoffs. One in motion this time, handoff, Trayvon Van. No, they pitch it out, Dante Sapp Lynch, and he runs for the first down. He got upended by Jacoby Taylor, but enough for a first down. Move the chains for San Diego.
Hey, get a score here. Give your backup quarterback a little confidence.
Another first down. Cluley doing a nice job moving the chains here. See if they can stick it in the end zone here. 7.5 minutes to go exactly in this 4th and final quarter of regulation inside Pechanga Arena.
Cluley, obviously, he can throw the ball very, very well. But he's not the runner that Solano is. Solano is really kind of a dual threat.
1st and 10. Cluley looks right, fires it way, way out of bounds.
Well, he saw his arm strength.
He's got good arm strength there, but another souvenir there for the fans.
I was watching him throw tonight. We got here pretty early. We were down there on the field, and you and I were down there talking to Todd Durkin, the general manager, and I was watching Cluley throw. Steve Cluley, 6'3", 215, I mentioned, had a very nice career at William and Mary. I mean, he got a big-time arm. Big-time arm.
You ever been to that campus, by the way?
No.
What a gorgeous campus. What a gorgeous football stadium. They've got these arcs, these brick arcs. It's fantastic down there in the Williamsburg area. Second down. Cluley pumps, now takes off running to the 10 and absorbs a big hit. Man, he took a shot from Trayvon Williams, and Williams has been doling out shots all game, Coach.
You'll see Steve tried to put the brakes on and kind of got himself in an awkward position, got tackled, and even went down a little bit awkwardly. A little concern there, but he got up and he's okay. But Williams laying the wood to him.
Third down and 5 from the 10. They can make the first down at the 5. Everybody wants to get into the end zone. Official runs over to pick up a board that fell down on the far side. And just dumped off, but right to the back of Dante Sapp Lynch. Boy, the offense has just been out of whack. We saw that in the first half, right, with a sure touchdown in the end zone that Evans Jr. didn't know exactly where it was, and then that time off the back of Sapp Lynch.
You know, watching the game last week and their loss to Bay Area 38-33, I didn't see a lot of this. I've seen a lot of miscommunication tonight. I've seen running backs going the wrong way. I've seen receivers looking over one shoulder. The ball's being thrown over another. They got some work to do this week. They really do.
5:06 to go. And, of course, a lot of the work can't be done indoors on this field, right, with other tenants and stuff. You've got to do it outdoors. Inside of 5 to go. Now it's 4th down and 5 from the 10. They can still get enough first down. Cluley, here comes that blitz from the middle. It gets picked up. Throw is out of bounds.
We got a flag.
Way over the head of Evans Jr. And the flag sits at the 1-yard line. And sitting on top of the boards there, Devontae Merriweather. The end zones, by the way, are just 8 yards.
On the defense, number 9.
That's a big break.
Half the distance penalty. Automatic first down.
All right, now the shutout in jeopardy here in the second half. You get the first down, you get half the distance to the goal line. Ball rests at the Arizona 5-yard line. This is where San Diego had trouble last week trying to get it in the end zone, especially at the very end of the game. The game ended up in San Jose on a review at the goal line as San Jose kept San Diego out of the end zone. And they got in, the ball game was over, and San Diego would be 1-0 right now.
Well, if they would have given them a timeout with 1 second to go, they'd have had another shot at it, but they said time expired before they called the timeout. Looking at the tape and watching the game, I'm not exactly sure that was the case.
Yes. Timeout. It looks like it's going to be the second spent by San Diego. Again, we've talked about the offense being out of sync. All right, we'll return right after this.
Hey guys, Kat here from Catalyst Wellness. Our mission is to help patients feel their best from the inside out.
After a hard workout, your body really needs more than water. Just ask our Strikeforce athletes.
We focus on giving what your body needs to heal with every treatment that we offer.
We also offer aesthetics treatments to help patients look their best.
Come by for IV therapy and absorb what your body really needs.
With our unique medical therapies, we'll get you back to work, back to family, and back to life. Come see us soon.
Monday Night Football here in San Diego. The return of the Strikeforce for the first time since 2016. 2019. Return of professional football, too, since 2019. I think the Chargers had already been out of here by then, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, it's been a while. And so professional football back in the San Diego city limits. What scares me is we have a little bit like the Fleet colors, too, huh?
Yeah,
that didn't last a whole season. Cluley. And into Devontae Sapp Lynch on the dive, and he's to the 5. Nothing further. It'll be second and goal from right at the 5. Coming up on 4 minutes to go here in the 4th.
Yeah, getting up pretty slow right there for the Arizona Rattlers. Number 31, Chris McAllister. He's been in the mix tonight. 6'3", 245. Played down there in Waco, Texas for the Baylor Bears.
I remember another Chris McAllister who played in Arizona for the Wildcats.
Yep, great
97
cornerback.
for Dick Tomey. I think, if I remember correctly, UCLA challenged his SAT scores. He was going to go to UCLA and said, nope, I'll go to Arizona instead if you're going to challenge my scores.
Well, he's a guy out of Southern California.
Yep. Dick Tomey was so excited to see him, and he changed the trajectory of that program. They played in the 97 Holiday Bowl here and beat Nebraska. Sap Lynch, there's just no running room there. 2 plays, absolutely no gain.
You know, you bring up the name Dick Tomey. I got to know Coach Tomey later in life I was doing the Aztecs, and we were over in Hawaii, and he was doing the color analyst work one night, and we talked for about an hour before a game. We had plenty of time. We ate dinner together, and but what a remarkable man. And then I remember when he took the job at San Jose State, I used to put him on from time to time just because I really admired him at that point in time of his career to take a tough job like San Jose State. But, you know, he saved that football program, Steve.
Great creator of men.
Great man.
All right, 3rd and goal from the 5. 2 run plays have gone nowhere with Sap Lynch carrying the ball. And that one's picked off the turf. Cluley, pressure comes back in the end zone, and almost a one-handed grab by Rashad Ross. And so now it's 4th and goal from the 5. That was the fire drill, right? Almost the fire, right, on when you have like a PAT or a field goal that goes awry and you got to pick it up.
That's exactly right. And, you know, the clock's running with 2:15, and really I think both Kevin Guy and Dave Beaver, they want to get out of here. I mean, right now nothing good can happen for either ball club. You don't want any type of injury. And, you know, the game's been decided. You know, I know the Strike Force would like to get in the end zone, but, again, you don't want any of these ball players to get banged up in a blowout game right now.
Scoreless 4th quarter so far. Strike Force were down 24 at the half, down 38 after 3 quarters of play. Trying to punch into the end zone on 4th down. The throw is high, incomplete. Again, looking for Ross, and they turn it over on downs with 1:41 to go.
Yeah, tough throw there. Cluley was under a little bit of duress. He got on his back foot, really didn't step into it. Elbow was a little bit underneath the football and elevated that and threw it out of bounds. Ross didn't have any type of chance. I can tell you, Rashad was there, but the throw was just too high. I mean, he got to the wall and could have elevated, but that ball was just badly overthrown.
So the Rattlers will have it at the 5-yard line on a 1st down and 10. They're not going to score 91. They may not even get over 50 for the 5th time, but they are going to be 5-0 lifetime against the Strike Force. And what is the Strike Force 3rd ever campaign? Remember, in 2020, we played 1 game and then had the season canceled on March the 20th, right before the home opener. We were supposed to work that Saturday. I think I had everything canceled, NCAA tournaments and all. There came the pressure, and in the middle it was Ricky Wyatt getting to Demery Croft. He still got it off for an incomplete pass intended for Haley.
Seems like about 2 years were canceled.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's tough. It's
the rest of the league played last year, but because of the restrictions in California, not being able to be in this building and, you know.
Well, and, you know, quite frankly, I think not playing last year, it gave this organization an opportunity to bring Vivian Lynn in and get Todd Durkin in, eventually hiring Dave Beaver.
Restructure, if you will.
I mean, you can look at this score tonight, 48-10. Yeah, the Strike Force getting beat, but, you know, there were a lot of good things. You and I know, because we were here in 2019, there are a lot of positives now around this organization. I mean, the game management tonight, the arena looked great. The boards are up. You got a lot of sponsors. We had a good crowd. I didn't get the crowd count tonight, but a really good crowd. And this team will continue to work and get better. They're going to win their fair share of games this year. But they're playing, they're playing like a Super Bowl champion tonight in the Arizona Rattlers. I mean, they're really that good, and it's a tough lesson. But you know what? They're going to be better for it, having played this team, and they're going to play some of these other teams, I think, a lot tougher. And who knows, when they play Arizona later in the year, they may give them a much better ball game.
We're about at the expiration of the 1-minute warning here in the 4th quarter. Rattlers are a minute away from going 2-0, and their defense shutting out an opponent in the second half for the 2nd straight week. And the last time that Arizona gave up points in this game, a Kalugian long field goal, and I do mean long, with 37 seconds to go. And there's a chance that San Diego only would have scored, 1 touchdown in the game. Taking a knee there is Demery Croft. And so the home opener dampened a little bit, but if you're a football fan in San Diego, you're excited that professional football's back. We're excited the Strike Force are back. Now, they're going to be 1-16 lifetime in franchise history after this game, but it's, again, a work in progress with all that has happened in 2020 and 21, and now jumping back into the thick of it in 2022, and then having to face Arizona fairly quickly. And there's not going to be many harder teams. The issue is that you do have to play these Rattlers one more time this season. You go there on the 15th of April. Another knee down, and this should be it. And that, in fact, is going to be it. And we hope that there were not too many casualties for the Strike Force in this one, because we didn't see Ishmael Adams at all in the second half. We know Solano went out, the starting quarterback, after getting sacked a few times on that last sack. And then, of course, Terrence Fulham, as Melissa May said, he was out with an injury, and that's a big loss, another veteran.
Well, yeah, you had a great team in the Arizona Rattlers come in, take on a team that's just trying to get themselves together. They're working hard, and I think you're going to see this team bounce back, even though they've got to go on the road for an extended period of this time. This Strike Force team, they're headed in the right direction in a variety of different ways, and I echo the sentiment. Hopefully they get out of this game tonight and not too banged up and can be ready to roll again next week.
Very rarely do you see a scoreless fourth quarter, but that happened. Let's check in now with Melissa May, who looks like she's down with David Beezer. Melissa?
Coach, obviously this was not the result that you wanted, but are there any positives you can take away from tonight's game?
You know, we're going to keep learning. We're going to keep grinding. We're going to keep getting better. It's going to take time. You know, I didn't expect us to be really, really good early. We want to be good late. And so part of that, you know, is we played a little bit better defensively. I thought we were pretty good in the second half. You know, we're figuring it out as we go. We're going to get better, though.
You've got a game in 5 days. What are you going to be working on during that time?
I think, you know, we got to just look at the film, look at, you know, what they do, and just, you know, get a plan together and just move forward.
It seemed like the offense just wasn't clicking tonight. There was some miscues. What do you think attributed to that?
I think they're very good defensively. I mean, they're very good, and you know, we're getting there. You know, it's a new system, it's a new process. It's going to take time.
You're known as a transformative coach. Are you kind of getting your message ready for your team going into the locker room tonight?
You know, I don't have any big speeches. It's just about, you know, every week getting better, and you know, we just got to learn from it. You know, I told our players at halftime, nobody's hitting the panic button. We just got to slowly work through this. You know, they've got 20-something years of doing this, and at times it showed that they did, and we haven't been around that long. So we're going to get better.
Well, one positive, there was over 4,300 fans in the stands today. How does that make you feel?
Oh, the environment was great. I mean, it's great to have the support. You know, we're going to get better. I know they're going to hang with us as we grow and we get better, and it's a process.
Thanks for your time, Coach. Appreciate it. Backed up to you guys.
Thanks, Melissa. Thanks, David. A whole lot of Drew Powell. He was the MVP last year of the IFL, threw 3 touchdown throws, also ran for 1. Arizona had 3 rushing touchdowns, 7 total touchdowns, and there's your final, 48-10. The Rattlers are 2-0. San Diego Strike Force opened the season at 0-2. Coach, final thought?
Well, final thoughts, you got a veteran team. Just like Coach Beezer said, they're going to learn. He's going to learn. His staff are going to learn, and they're going to be better going forward. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you got a guy like Kevin Guy who's been a head coach in this league for since 2008. Dave Beezer coached his second IFL game, and he'll be the first one to admit, because he told me before the game, he goes, hey, Coach, he goes, I got a lot to learn, but I'm working my tail off, and we're going to learn a lot tonight playing the Arizona Rattlers.
Yeah, the Rattlers in their 30th year, so they've been around since 1992. The Strike Force opening up their 3rd campaign, what we hope to be their 2nd full campaign. They dropped to 0-2, and for the 2nd consecutive game, the Arizona Rattlers pitch a second-half shutout. Their defense does the trick, and they win on the road tonight, 48-10. over the San Diego Strike Force. That's going to do it from Pechanga Arena here in San Diego, California. For my partner, the coach John Quintera, Melissa May working down arena level, and our great crew here from Finest City Broadcasting. I'm Steve Quist, wishing you the best, and we'll talk to you again from Pechanga Arena on May the 7th. I hope you can handle a month off from indoor football. We'll see you back in May. Until then, good night, everybody.